got me here, a place where I can find myself in you. I won't back down, freedom is a word I choose. No more fear, cause I have found my happiness in you. Just
hit it with the.
When I am hurt, you pull me close to you. You brought me here, a place where I can find myself in you. I won't back down, freedom is a word or two.
Welcome to the SAGU Sports Network. I am Adam Ferguson, joined by my broadcast partner, Tim Roberts. We are live for another Football Friday here from Lumpkin Stadium in Waxahachie, Texas. Tim, we talked about football weather last week. It's even better this week. It is in the 50s. It's windy, not a cloud in the sky. This is perfect football weather.
Regular season finale for the Lions of both sidelines, as well as the Sooner Athletic Conference. You could not ask for a better way to cap off what's been such a thrilling season in this conference and on this field.
The long-time rivalry between the Langston Lions going on the road from Langston, Oklahoma, down here to Waxahachie, Texas to take on the SAGU Lions. This is always, when we get the opportunity, one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game to call with you throughout any season.
It's always a big one, and some huge positioning, not that you can go into the playoffs, but some huge positioning in the Sooner standings. Speaking of which, let's look back at last week real fast. Already got games going on this week, but real quick recap, of course. SAGU beat Texas College right here to clinch that winning season. Louisiana Christian blew out Lyon. Texas Wesleyan beat North American, and Ottawa, Arizona defeated Wayland Baptist. But the big game was out in Arizona. Arizona Christian rallies to beat these Langston Lions in the fourth quarter, 30-27. We said last week that was one of the biggest deciding games. Essentially eliminated Langston from playoff contention, eliminated them essentially as well from conference championship contention, and has Arizona Christian right on the cusp of a playoff spot.
I think I went 5-0 last week in my picks, Tim. I think you picked Langston.
I did, because that would have caused way more chaos, and it was tight. I mean, a 3-point loss after you haul out to Arizona is nothing to sneeze at. Unfortunately for Langston, it is, again, their third loss in 4 weeks after they started again undefeated this year. But another thrilling game for what's been a crazy year, and that crazy year has led to a final crazy week here in the Sooner.
And it's time for my favorite thing of any given week, any given Saturday, is when Tim has to use that brain of his and walk us through these the Sooner Athletic Conference championship scenarios.
Here's where we are. It is a 3-team race. If all these teams win, Ottawa, Arizona, Arizona Christian, and Texas Wesleyan, which they're all ahead right now, although Texas Wesleyan's just barely ahead of Lyon, only ahead 21-15 last time I checked. They all finish as champions. But then it becomes, who's the playoff team? Who's the automatic bid? If none of them are in the top 20, there's no auto bid. No Sooner team in the playoffs. That almost certainly won't happen because Ottawa, Arizona is already ranked number 20. If Ottawa, Arizona is the only one in the top 20, congratulations, Spirit, you're going to the playoffs. Where it gets complicated, Arizona Christian is at 22. If they were to win big enough today, if they were to have some teams ahead of them right here, these are the teams they're looking at: Georgetown, St. Thomas, Dickinson State, St. Francis, Carroll. If a couple of those teams lose, they could get into the top 20. Then you have a two-way tiebreaker between Arizona Christian and Ottawa, Arizona. So even if Ottawa, Arizona were ranked higher, Arizona Christian would be the automatic bid because they have the head-to-head win. There is a scenario still where Texas Wesleyan, ranked 26, gets into the top 20. That's honestly fading fast because they're not handling business against Lyon. Scoreboard watching matters this week. The pollsters are going to look at that. So Texas Wesleyan probably out of it. They still will get essentially a share of that conference championship. But it's between Ottawa, Arizona, and Arizona Christian, and we won't know until tomorrow night. We won't know
No.
if Arizona Christian.
Oh, yeah.
We won't know. They're both winning. They'll both probably hang on to win against subpar opponents today. But we do not know if they will move Arizona Christian to the top 20. If they're at 21, they don't make it. If they're at 20, they leapfrog their crosstown rival and make the playoffs.
Isn't it crazy? At one point this season, we were talking about potentially 3 teams making it to the playoffs, being in that top 25 in Texas Wesleyan, Ottawa of Arizona, and ACU. And now they're fighting for that one spot from the Sooner Athletic Conference. We had high hopes going into the season.
I will be remiss if I didn't mention it. It's not going to happen. We're already in the third quarter. We can see it. There was a scenario at the start of the day where the SAGU Lions still could have been conference champions.
There was.
Because there was a slim chance that we could have had a 5-way tie at 3 losses apiece between 5 different teams, as you see on the standings there. It won't happen now. We knew it probably wasn't going to happen. But that just shows how crazy this season has been, that was even in the cards.
Yeah.
The fact that there was even a 1% chance of that happening just shows how wild this Sooner season has been.
Well, let's talk about some of the games this week real quickly before we move back here to Waxahachie. Lion versus Texas Wesleyan kicked off at 2 p.m. There you're going to see a live look in. Again, only an 8-point game, a 1-score game. Texas Wesleyan leading over Lyon College. Louisiana Christian taking on Texas College again, kicked off at 2 p.m. Ottawa of Arizona at OPSU. The rare afternoon game for the Spirits. We get to see what they do before our game maybe even hits halftime. We'll be able to see what happens in that one. Arizona Christian against Wayland Baptist. Again, another Arizona team playing in the afternoon. So we get to see the final score of their game during our game, which again, rarely happens.
We're the nightcap practically for this. And in those games right now, Louisiana Christian is up 15-0. Ottawa, Arizona is up 33-0. And Arizona Christian, last we checked, was up 17-0 on Wayland Baptist. They probably want to get that closer to 42, 45 to make that case to get into the top 20.
Absolutely.
Have some teams lose ahead of them.
And then, of course, today at 4 o'clock, coming up right here on the SAGU Sports Network, Langston, the Lions, going on the road to face the SAGU Lions here in Waxahachie. Tim, let's talk about Langston a little bit. The keys to the game to walk out of here, head back to Langston with a win.
Keep spreading the ball around. They have been such a dynamic offense. 7 wide receivers average more than 30 yards a game, and 6 of them have 3 or more touchdowns on the season. So they have a lot of wide receiver weapons. We saw the SAGU secondary really get hit hard last week against Texas College. Spread that ball around, have them chasing you all day. Second, third down efficiency. On the season, Langston is 19th in the NAIA, top 20, with a 41% conversion rate. But in their 3 losses, that's been a 33 conversion rate. And that's actually a little bit stacked because they had one really good game in there. And those other 2 losses, it was more like a 20% conversion rate. So they've got to find a way to keep drives alive. That's been the difference between the wins and losses for them this season. Last, clean game. Langston has the 3rd most penalty yards per game in the NAIA at 101 a game. Of course, SAGU's not a ton off of them.
Right.
So we can see a lot of flags today, but Langston, one of the most penalized teams in the NAIA. You're a little frustrated with how the season's ended for you again, much like last year. Keep it clean. Keep your emotions in check. Play a clean ball game. Do not hand SAGU free first downs, and don't kill your own drives.
Let's talk about SAGU here for a second. And when I wrote this key to the game, it hadn't been announced yet, but this is your last regular season, or your Sooner Athletic Conference game of the season. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the game today. But this is your last regular season, your last conference game of the season. Don't pull any punches.
Yeah.
You play Langston every year, and it always seems to be a close game. Go all out. This is your last one. It's always nice to beat Langston, so do what you need to do to get a win. Don't hold anything back. Last, I'm going to kind of echo what you're talking about, keeping mistakes down, keeping the flags in the pockets of the referees, but also turnover-free football, which is something they've been able to do recently on this win streak. Again, solidifying a winning season with a win last week against Texas College. And lastly, you got to play tight coverage. Langston airs the ball out. Larry Harrington has been ridiculous this season, and that's not typical of a Langston team. A lot of times Langston runs the ball down your throat. This is a different Langston offense than we've traditionally seen. Last week, you probably gave up a little more than you would have liked to against Texas College. Get it together. Let's tighten that up this week.
Key players for Langston, as you mentioned, quarterback Larry Harrington. He is averaging 242 yards passing a game. How about a 22-5 touchdown to interception ratio? I know that's not the end-all be-all of stats. I know a lot of nerds want to dig a lot deeper than that. But hey, touchdowns versus interceptions is pretty big. An over 4-to-1 ratio is pretty huge.
I'm one of those nerds.
Running back Markel Scott's my second key player, averaging almost 90 rushing yards a game and has 7 touchdowns. And last, how about linebacker Devin Doriso? Leads the team in tackles for a loss, and interceptions. He flies to the ball everywhere. He's just always there making a big play. stuffing the gap today against Keaton Dudick is going to be key for Langston.
Let's talk about the SAGU players to watch, and I want to highlight the seniors because, as it is, we failed to mention so far, it is senior day here for the SAGU football program. We're going to highlight 3 seniors before they highlight every senior, as they do every year. We're going to talk about, you can't talk about seniors, you can't talk about SAGU football without talking about Keaton Dudick. He hit the 1,000-yard mark last week. He's had 2 300-yard games in the last 3 games. It's just been an unbelievable season so far for Keaton Dudick, and it's a season that started off so poorly. I think we're at the point right now where he's playing well enough to say it started poorly to start the season. So huge turnaround. Next, we're going to talk about Khalil Jenkins. Not a name we've called a ton this season. Up until the last couple of weeks has really started to break out in this SAGU offense. They've started to utilize the tight end a little bit more, which is something I like to see. That middle of the field is so dangerous, so open. It's something that, honestly, Briley Green succeeds at, is targeting the middle of the field. So look for him to get involved today. And lastly, a name that Tim and I have loved calling for the last couple of years is Jalen Moss. This Langston has a top 20 offense that's in the nation. We're not talking top, well, it is one of the top offenses in the Sooner Athletic Conference, but it's one of the top offenses in the entire nation. They're going to try to take the top off the defense. Jalen Moss, look for him to fly around, make some plays here in this SAGU secondary. We are going to send you live to the field for the Senior Day presentation before we get to see the Langston Lions take on the SAGU Lions right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
Jalen will graduate with his master's degree in organizational leadership. After graduation, Jalen plans to start his career in marketing. Jalen is joined by his 3 brothers, Nathan, Isaiah, and Aiden, and his sister, Kaylee. Jalen's favorite Bible verse is James 4:10. Our next senior is number 66, Evan Greathouse. Evan will graduate with a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in criminal justice. After graduation, Evan plans to start his career in private security. Evan is joined by his father, Mark, mother, Daedra, brother, Aaron, and grandmother, Irma. Next is number 77, Roderick Williams. Roderick will graduate with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. After graduation, Roderick plans to start his career in coaching. Roderick is joined by his mother, Angela, sister, Maisha, brother, Justin, and nephew, Quintez. Roderick's favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11, verses 11 through 13. Next is number 43, Christopher Kainalubakos. Christopher will graduate with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. After graduation, Christopher plans to start his career in coaching. Christopher is joined by his friend, Aliyah Laga. Christopher's favorite Bible verse is Psalm 56, verse 3 and 4. Next is number 69, Eloy Carrillo. Eloy will graduate with a bachelor's degree in business administration. After graduation, Eloy plans to start his career in marketing. Eloy is joined by his father, Eloy Sr., Mom Wendy's, sister Ellen. Eloy's favorite Bible verse is 1 Peter 5, verses 6 through 7. Next, number 19, Devontae Crownover. Devontae will graduate with a bachelor's in criminal justice. After graduation, Devontae plans to start his career in law enforcement. Devontae is joined by his father Ernest, mother Veronica, and brother Jacoby. Devontae's favorite Bible verse is Zephaniah 3:17. Next is number 7, Demarius Heron. Demarius will graduate with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. After graduation, Demarius plans to start his career in Homeland Security. Demarius is joined by his father, Andrew Heron, mother Lakira, grandmother Linda, and his aunt Delia. Demarius' favorite Bible verse is Psalm 23:4. Next is number 27, Corey Anzodua. Corey will graduate with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. After graduation, Corey plans to come back to SAGU and start his master's to coach football. Corey is joined by his father Isaac, his mother Wendy, his stepmom Kina, brother Nico, and Corey's favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:13. Our next senior to recognize is number 8, Travion McNeil. Travion will graduate with a bachelor's degree in business management. After graduation, Travion plans to join the family business. Travion is joined by his father Rodney and mother Caitlin. Travion's favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:13. Our next senior we're recognizing is number 2, Keaton Dudick. Keaton will graduate with a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. After graduation, Keaton plans to start his career in business. Keaton is joined by his mother Brandy Allen and stepdad Scott Gibbs. Keaton's favorite Bible verse is 2 Chronicles 15:7. Next, number 1, Isaac Gowdy. Isaac will graduate with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. He plans to start his career in coaching. Isaac is joined by his father Maurice and his mother Kim. Isaac's favorite Bible verse is Psalm 107:1. Next is number 13, Khalil Jenkins. Khalil will graduate with a degree in Masters of Leadership. After graduation, Khalil plans to start his career as a high school guidance counselor and football coach. Khalil is joined by his stepdad Kevin and mom Taryn. His favorite Bible verse is Joshua 1:9. Next is number 0, Adarian Rowell. Adarian will graduate with a bachelor's in criminal justice. After graduation, Adarian plans to start his career in Homeland Security or become an FBI agent. Adarian is joined by Coach Kevin Pointer Sr. His favorite Bible verse is Psalm 23:4. Next is number 35, Kiernan Woodley. Kieran will graduate with a bachelor's degree in communications. After graduation, Kieran plans to start his career in pro football. He is joined today by his dad Paul, his mom Danielle, sister Logan. Kieran's favorite Bible verse is John 13:7. Our next senior is number 10, Zachary Nelson. Zachary will graduate with a bachelor's degree in digital media. After graduation, Zachary plans to start his career creating a video production company. Zachary is joined by his mom, Norvetta, and brother Jay. Zachary's favorite Bible verse is Corinthians 13:11. Our next senior is number 21, Joel Reiser. Bachelor's degree in education. After graduation, Joel plans to start his career coaching football. He's joined by his father, Rob Reiser, and mother, Annette Reiser. Joel's favorite Bible verse is 2 Timothy 4:7. Our next senior we'd like to recognize number 9, Zachary Johnson. Zachary will graduate with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. After graduation, Zachary plans to start his career playing professional football. Zachary is joined by his Uncle Joe, Aunt Yolanda, Cousin Jasmine, and girlfriend Sade. Zachary's favorite Bible verse is Philippians 4:13. And our final senior that we are recognizing today is number 11, Zachariah Johnson. Zachariah will graduate with a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. After graduation, Zachariah plans to start his career in playing professional football. Zachariah is joined by his grandmother Jessie, his aunt LaShonda, brother Isaiah, and cousin Damaris. Zachariah's favorite Bible verse is Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that everyone please recognize our SAGU football seniors. And fans, after our seniors are recognized and both teams are on the field, we will then start our prayer and national anthem.
All right, while we wait for the national anthem and the coin toss here, Tim, let's talk a little bit about the Lady Lions, who today wrapped up the Sooner Athletic Conference tournament. Already the Sooner Athletic Conference champions of the regular season, but as you know, there is a conference tournament after the regular season concludes, and SAGU was fortunate enough to host that tournament this year. And Tim, the Lady Lions still undefeated, defeating the Texas Wesleyan Lady Rams today in the finals to become Sooner Athletic Conference champions and Sooner Athletic Conference tournament champions, and surely a very high seed in the upcoming NAIA tournament.
Absolutely. Already ranked, I believe, 7th overall in the entire NAIA. Should be higher than that already.
Should be number 1.
Should definitely be higher after cleaning house yet again and just looking spectacular the entire way. Obviously facing some really tough competition. Went 4 sets today against Texas Wesleyan, but they are, in fact, the undisputed, unquestionable champions. 32-0 now, I believe, on the season. 31-0.
31. I think it's 31-0.
31 or 32. You lose count after a while. You win so many in a row, but they are looking absolutely spectacular, and they have a thrilling NAIA tournament journey up ahead. I am quite certain. I don't see any way that they don't have a blast up there. As you see the recap there, they swept Science and Arts, swept MacU, which was a solid game last night.
Yes,
as well.
It was. Yep.
And then beating Texas Wesleyan for the third time in a month, too, it feels like. They had to play the Lady Rams all 3 times in quick succession and looked spectacular doing it. You hear, if you watch the games, you hear John say it all the time when he's calling them. They just don't let the ball hit the ground.
Yep.
They just keep sets alive. They do spectacular things. So we will have our eyes on them very closely. Be sure and follow us across our social media platforms to get all the news on that, where you can follow those games, as we will very soon get the details on that tournament. Looking around SAGU Athletics, obviously Lady Lions there.
SAGU wins the toss, defers to the second half.
And there you have the coin toss that just happened as well.
They snuck in and did that coin toss, didn't they?
They brought that out of nowhere. No pomp and circumstance for that one. SAGU women's basketball on the road today playing Southwestern. They fell to Friends yesterday. And obviously the Lady Lions volleyball team taking care of business on back-to-back days.
Will receive.
So as you hear, Langston will start this game with the ball as we await the opening prayer and national anthem here from Waxahachie, Texas. But a good weekend of SAGU sports. It's a busy weekend, as I should say. I know our team is working very hard to bring you as much coverage as they can of both this of the Sooner Athletic Conference volleyball tournament as well as the game here in Waxahachie today. And it's definitely a fun time of year, but it is a busy time of year. Tim, before we move on here to the national anthem, what's it feel like to, I always feel there's a little bit extra special meaning to winning a conference and then also having to win that conference tournament, because when you're in tournament play, you have so many games on so many different days that any team can get hot, and the Lady Lions just dominate through and through.
And what is most spectacularly amazing about it is that they didn't need it.
No.
They didn't need it. They already had the spot clinched. They could have lost round 1, and they were still going to be a top 10 seed. And they fought through anyways. That's how competitive they are.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to go live to the field for the opening prayer and the national anthem right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
Our prayer and national anthem. And now at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask everyone to please stand and remove their hats as we honor God in prayer. Then following prayer, we ask that you please remain standing and face the flag as we honor our nation with the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America. Let's pray. Gracious God, we thank you for today, for this time here. Lord God, I ask that you watch over all the players. I pray that you watch over the officials, and you watch over all of the fans as they travel back home as well. Lord, we love you, we praise you, and we thank you for everything that you've done in our lives and in these players today. May we continue to honor you in our lives. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
And there you have
And
it.
our captains for today's game. For Langston Lions, number 1, Larry Harrington. Number 23, Markel Scott. Number 26.
I was about to announce the captains, but our PA announcer beat me to it. If you're just joining us today, the Lions won the Lions, wow. SAGU won the coin toss and elected to defer to the second half, as we've seen them do all season. They like to get that defense out on the field as early as possible and set the tone. Langston will receive the first half kick. I got to be careful today calling them Lions and Lions. Yeah. It's confusing.
And at least we always had it in basketball, because it was, if you were watching a women's game, it was Lady Lions and the Lionesses.
Yep.
Got to get that very specific. It's not both Lady Lions. Nothing but confusion today. So yes, it is SAGU and Langston.
SAGU and Langston. Kieran Woodley, one of these seniors celebrated today, will kick off for SAGU. Kieran Woodley, again, the preseason Sooner Athletic Conference Special Teams Player of the Year. We'll kick it off here for SAGU. Back to return for Langston at the 5-yard line, and we are underway, and it will be off and over his head into the end zone. It will be a touchback. That was a little scary there. He ended up fielding it and taking a knee. It will be a touchback, and Langston will start with the ball on the 25.
Langston started the year out hot yet again, 2 years in a row now that they ran off an undefeated run. Unfortunately, just hit that snag of this late, tough schedule, have lost 3 out of 4, and that's where they are right now. Be interesting to see how they bounce back after that tough loss that sealed their fate in Arizona last week. How much fire do they come out with this week to try to finish the season off on a high note?
Langston, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Quarterback Larry Harrington comes out 5 wide here on 1st down. He's back to pass, lets it go, out into the flat, it's completed. Short gain there on 1st down. They'll pick up, call it 4 yards.
Quick hitter over to Julian Austin. SAGU's DBs are quick to the attack, and that's why it was so interesting watching a team attack them over the middle and over deep last week with Texas College, and it worked. See if Langston starts to pull some of that out as well, because it is hard to beat this team underneath. These DBs and linebackers are just so quick to the attack.
2nd and 6 on the way. Harrington with a man in the backfield. Takes a snap. He will hand it off here on 2nd down. Good patience. He bursts through the hole, has enough for the 1st down, keeps those feet moving, and falls forward just past the 45-yard line. And that is a really good carry from Markel Scott on 2nd down.
Scott's going to find a gap and break a couple of tackles. Really gained another probably 8 or 9 yards, more than the Lions wanted to give up in that situation. Power runner picks up the 1st down for Langston.
New set of downs, turns around, hands it off to Scott. Scott met quickly and is going to get brought down for a loss on 1st down. First man there for SAGU, wearing number 10, Zach Nelson.
Zach Nelson splits that A-gap, one of those attacking linebackers. shoots right at the middle. And had he broken free, Keandre Belcher was also there to finish the job.
Zach Nelson, another senior honor today here for SAGU, a very vital part of this defensive front seven. 2nd and 11, they're going to call it a long 11. It looks more like 2nd and 12 here for Langston. Sends a man in motion. Harrington, play action, back to pass, flicks it across the middle, incomplete, could not connect with his man over the middle. That was intended for William Walter.
Tad off target. SAGU was showing blitz. They hadn't penetrated, but you wonder if the sight of it caused Harrington to be a little quicker on the trigger than he wanted to be. Didn't have that back foot planted right where he needed it.
That brings up 3rd and long, and this is where SAGU's defense has been very good this season. These pass rushers love these 3rd and long situations. 4 wide, 2 either side. Here's Harrington, back to pass, deep drop, lets it go, looking down the middle, has a man, brings it in, and he is going to go all the way. Touchdown, Langston on 3rd and 11 from the 44, a 56-yard pitch and catch, and we have our first score of the afternoon.
Looks like Carter Lincoln had a cleat stick in the ground. Receiver, you're not going to see it on that angle. Breaks free on the post, and Carter Lincoln, before he knew what happened, was 5 yards behind him. So on 3rd and 11, Langston strikes big. That is what hurt SAGU so badly last week, and it hits him early here with a deep ball.
Extra point is up, and it is good, and they will go up 7-0. Langston's very good passing attack strikes first. Again, a 56-yard pass from Larry Harrington to number 7, Byron Hanspard, the junior wide receiver. Beat his man one-on-one and with foot race the rest of the way, and that's one he is going to win every time. And Langston up 7-0 early here in Waxahachie.
Exactly the start you want when you're going against a team that has relied on their defense for so much of this season, especially a team that is far more successful on the run. If Langston could build some sort of lead here, really force SAGU to go to the air earlier than they want to. Of course, we've seen SAGU stay on the ground even down 21 points because they know that's where their biggest weapon is, but a hot start for Langston. As we mentioned, not sure how they're going to come into this game with the way these last few weeks have gone, but they come out with some fire. Putting SAGU behind early, and again in those 3rd and longs where SAGU's defense has been so strong for the vast majority of this season, typically pinning their ears back, getting to the quarterback. You've seen a lot of sacks, a lot of disrupted plays in those situations, knowing that they had so much ground to defend. But that time, like I said, it looked like Carter Lincoln got a tad bit turned around and could not burst when he needed to.
On to kick is Octavio Resendish, and he will pooch it, and it's going to hit the ground. This is a dangerous situation. SAGU fortunately brings it in, making a move and then past the 35-yard line. It was a collective breath held across the stadium here in Waxahachie as that ball hit the ground and took a funky bounce. But fortunately, SAGU gets good field position.
It's going to be Keith Hargreaves, I believe, who comes up with it. And yeah, that didn't bounce quite far enough to where they wanted it to be. So it's the hands team linebacker who scoops it up. He's able to pick up a couple. And like I said, the more important thing, avoided any sort of disaster there. So here will come Briley Green and this SAGU offense, who did have a hot week last week. The most efficient we've seen them be all year in moving that ball consistently.
3 wide to the right here for freshman quarterback Briley Green. Keaton Dudek, the senior, in the backfield with him to his right. 1st and 10 from the 36. They will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek not a lot doing there. He's going to pick up 1 good stand from Langston on their first defensive play.
As you mentioned, Keaton Dudek, 2 of his last 3 games have gone over 300 yards. I had mentioned that his 2,000 all-purpose was well out of hand, it seemed. However, with that burst and the fact that SAGU will have another game this year that we'll talk more about as we go through, and that game counts towards your stats, who knows? Keaton Dudek may still have an outside shot at back-to-back 2,000-yard all-purpose seasons.
It would be absolutely insane. Has just been a treat to watch. The best running back, at least that I have seen in my time here at SAGU.
Oh, unquestionably. Yeah.
Keaton Dudek, 2nd and 9 on the way here. Sends a man in motion. Back to pass is Green. He lets it go into the flat, looking for Dudek. Incomplete over the head of Keaton Dudek out there in the flat.
Play took a while to develop, and Dudek needs to be further downfield with how long it was. sun was also shining in that exact spot. Unusual start time for us, this 4 o'clock. Not an arrangement you typically see here for us here in Lumpkin Stadium, with at the moment that perfect shadow from the 33-yard lines of both sides. The sun setting directly behind us and creating some weird things for the quarterbacks and receivers to deal with.
3rd and 9. Green looking to avoid a 3-and-out here on their first series. Back to pass. Let's go. Going deep. Incomplete. Good coverage down the field by Langston's secondary, and that will be a 3-and-out, and they will bring on the punting unit led by Ryan Lewis.
Great job on the corner of jamming up the receiver, not interfering, just locking up, making sure to not cede any ground. No chance to get to that ball for Johnson.
Ryan Lewis, the freshman punter here for SAGU, has been phenomenal. One of the best weapons that this team has rolled out this season. And it's not often you talk about a punter like that, but that is just how good he has been this year at pinning his opponents deep. He will get this one away. It is an end-over-end punt, and it'll land at the 40, take a good bounce, and roll inside the 25. A good punt by Ryan Lewis puts Langston back at the 23-yard line. So flip field position, but you always hate to go 3-and-out on your first offensive series, Tim.
Yeah, especially on that sort of drive where you get nothing. A couple yards up the middle with Keaton Dudek, miscommunication on 2nd down, solid coverage on 3rd. You tried 3 different things and got beat pretty soundly on all of them. Up to the SAGU defense now. You do not want to find yourself down 2 scores against Langston. You just don't want to find yourself in that position. Time for them to make a big stand here very early in this game.
Fortunately for the SAGU defense, they were only on the field for 5 plays last time out, so they should have relatively fresh legs here. 1st and 10 from the 23. Here's Harrington. Man in the backfield, pistol formation. Hard count, turns around and will hand it off here on 1st down. Looking to get it to the outside, lowers the shoulder and picks up, call it 3 there on 1st down. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Another strong run there from Markel Scott. Probably a bigger, stronger running back than SAGU is used to seeing. Lots of speedsters here in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Not sure if we've seen a bruiser quite like Scott come in, at least to Lumpkin Stadium this year.
2nd and 6. They're going to give him 4 on 1st down there. Harrington, back to pass, sends a man in motion rather. We're going to get a flag here, a false start against Langston.
False start. Langston, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Penalty on Bison Bentley, the offensive lineman. Looked to be a little bit of miscommunication. The running back, Taj Davidson, left a little bit late out of the backfield. Timing must have been off a tad bit, and it cost him 5 yards.
2nd and 11. They will hand it off here on 2nd down. Not a lot of movement there. That'll bring up 3rd and 9 as they get back just past that original line of scrimmage.
That is Davidson on the run, and he was met initially by, I believe, Quavion Mitchell. Not a name we've called a ton this year, but he comes in strong from the left side there, throws him off his feet, and SAGU gets Langston to 3rd and 8. Another 3rd and long-ish situation.
And we saw them score on their last 3rd and long-ish situation.
SAGU's got too many men on the field, and they will hustle off just in time.
They actually get a timeout. Coach Greg Ellis calls a timeout from the sideline.
Timeout. SAGU, their first timeout.
Yeah, when you've already had one big 3rd and long given up, you want to make sure you have the right personnel in right now. Don't want to risk a bad look, or especially giving up 5 yards if you're not set correctly. Give Langston an extra down.
It'll be 3rd and 8 here. Correction here for Langston. Their last 3rd down play went for 56 yards. Again, the first score and only score of the game, Harrington to Hanspard. And that's where we find ourselves here with about 4.5 gone here in the first quarter. 7-0 Langston lead.
Always such a big rivalry game here, and it feels like this has been the capper for the season for a couple of years in a row now. You say rivalry. SAGU had yet to ever defeat Langston up until 2020, and they now have a 2-game win streak
Yes, they do.
against
Yep.
Langston.
Yep.
Although I will note, both of those games were in Langston. They have yet to beat Langston here at Lumpkin Stadium.
You and I have not gotten to call a SAGU win against Langston.
Firsthand, have not seen one. We have heard rumors.
3rd and 8 on the way. Here's Harrington, back to pass. Deep drop. He pumps. He's going to roll out to his left. He is an athletic quarterback. He lets it go back across his body and falls harmlessly to the ground. Incomplete. SAGU's defense with a stand, and Langston answers with a 3-and-out of their own here deep in their own territory.
Key thing is getting that pressure from the left side. You're working with a right-handed quarterback. Once he's rolling to his left, he does not have the right momentum he needs to make a good pass. Has to throw that one off his back foot into no man's land. And SAGU, great response by this defense after giving up the big touchdown, coming out with a quick 3-and-out to get the ball back to your offense. There is a tiny bit of a breeze blowing in Langston's face at the moment. Nothing too gusty, but it might impact the punt a tad.
They do end up getting the punt off end over end. It'll land just past the 45.
Out.
It's SAGU touched it. It's a live ball, and Langston will fall on it, and they will have possession. So Langston capitalizes on the muffed punt, and they will have the ball in SAGU territory.
You gotta be heads up with that. That is a mental error. Everybody needs to get away from that ball. It is, in fact, going to be, I believe, Jalen Moss who's going to try to get inside to pick that ball up, but he was surrounded, did not handle it cleanly. And then once he touched it, we'll get a good replay of it here. Typical end-over-end punt, and right here, everyone needs to back off, and Moss tries to do too much. Once it touches him, Carter Lincoln and Lontarius McLean were completely out of position. Easy scoop up for Langston. Tough break for SAGU, with Langston now taking over in SAGU territory.
1st and 10 from the 41. Harrington back to pass. Deep drop. Lets it go across the middle field. It's picked off. SAGU's going to get it back anyway. And then he gets brought down at the 40-yard line. So one play after the muffed punt, and Zach Nelson comes up with the interception, and SAGU gets possession anyway.
What a huge turnaround. Ball's going to be thrown exactly where Nelson needs it. Just missed that Nelson was trailing underneath, steps in front of it. And after that break on the punt, SAGU was in dire straits. Defense answers right back, as we've seen them answer back all year long. They have kept their offense in games, and they have won games outright. And when you need them the most, they have stepped up huge. Ball now back in SAGU's hands. No damage done. Almost exactly where they would have got it on the punt anyways.
1st and 10, empty backfield. Here's Green. Let's go across the middle. It's tipped and falls to the ground. Incomplete.
We were both thinking, when we saw the tip, we're about to see our 3rd straight turnover in a row. That has been an unfortunate break for Green throughout the season. I think we've seen at least 3 or 4 tip drill interceptions, which sometimes are on the quarterback. It depends if they're tipped at the line. Other times, bouncing off receivers' fingers and going to the exact wrong spot on the field. SAGU lucky that one didn't go a little bit higher. They retain possession.
2nd and 10. Here's Green. Tight formation. He's going to hand it off to Dudek. Dudek bouncing around, lowers the shoulder. Short gain there on 2nd down. Called a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 7.
SAGU doing anything they can, bringing in that tight formation as well as 2 column fullbacks practically to block for Dudek. Finding that running room has been the issue all year, and it feels like 7 or 8 times out of 10 it's not there. But the 1 or 2 times it is, that's when Dudek gashes you and he's gone. That's why it's still been such a successful rushing attack, even if it takes a half dozen tries sometimes to make something good happen.
3rd and 7. SAGU looking to avoid a 2nd straight 3-and-out. Bunch formation to the left. Green back to pass. He lets it go into the flat. It's brought in by Colby Tanner, and he's got enough for the 1st down, plus about 5, and SAGU moves the chains.
Perfect route tree here. You have your man stacked up outside, crosses to the middle. Tanner's running the wheel route. He's wide open. If Green had laid this in a little dirtier, that would have been a lot more. Huge conversion, however.
Back to pass. A flag comes in, and they blow the play dead. We've seen Briley Green utilize the hard count successfully a lot this season. I'm not sure what the call will be here. They blew it dead. It didn't look like it was offsides.
Offside.
It is.
Langston, number 52. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And Langston is fortunate that they blew that play dead because Green completed a pass on the outside to Paul Odidi that would have been a first down and a really nice catch for the highlight reel for Odidi, but it's just going to result in a 5-yard penalty, make it 1st and 5.
Must have ruled that there was contact because obviously that would blow it dead. Otherwise, that should have been a free play for SAGU and would have been more than the 5 they picked up. And as you mentioned, Briley Green excels in that situation. Aaron Rodgers, like old Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, you said it.
Not for you youngsters out here who think he's bad for the last 6 weeks.
Here's Green on 2nd and 5. He lets go across the middle, off the hands of Tanner, and almost intercepted. That'll bring up 2nd and 5. A couple of scary tipped balls here for Green, and he's fortunate that they both fell incomplete.
Anytime you zip a pass over the middle, you are playing a little bit of roulette with that one. Tips off his receiver's fingers. Obviously, both of these teams playing here in the Southwest, you're used to a little bit softer of a football. It's actually cold enough today that you might get a little bit of that old-fashioned, hard leather out there. It changes. It changes the exact way that the ball even handles or bounces on the field.
Currently 49 degrees here in Waxahachie, Texas, and they are in the shade, so it might be a little bit cooler. They hand it off here to Keaton Dudek on 2nd and 5. He falls forward. He's going to be just about a yard short, maybe a yard and a half short of the first down. That brings up 3rd and 1.
That's where the initial mark is, but this is the spot you want to be in if you're the Lions with such a good rushing attack. Essentially, you got 2 cracks now to go pick up this yard because I definitely see this as 4-down territory. You're only down 7-0, but if you're inside Langston's end of the field, you've got to come away with points today. No settling for short punts. Outside of Kieran Woodley's field goal range at the moment for certain.
Not a ton of wins, so that wouldn't even be a big factor here for Woodley. Here's 3rd and 1. Green will hand it off. Dudek, good push up front. He lowers the shoulder, keeps the feet moving, and he's got enough for a first down. The whistle has not blown yet, so a good job by Keaton Dudek, and he kept his feet after the fact. A first down for SAGU.
That is the biggest compliment Dudek gets week after week. Is the refs just don't blow the whistle. Because, and you see right here, he's pushing forward. There is forward momentum. Forward momentum had not been stopped at that point. They will hold on a lot longer than they do for certain running backs because they just look at the ground and say, his feet are still churning. He is still fighting for these yards. This is still a live play. Big pickup on 3rd down to keep this drive clicking.
1st and 10 now from the 34-yard line. Bunch formation to the right here for Green. One to his left and Odidi. Dudek in the backfield. He's back to pass here on 1st down. Let's go. It's middle of the field. He's got his man at the 10. Makes a move. Breaks a tackle at the 5. Touchdown. That is Zachariah Johnson from 34 yards out. And SAGU, pending an extra point, will tie this game up at 7 apiece.
Beautiful quick slant route to the middle of the field and an even prettier deke right here. Breaking ankles like he's on the hardwood floor into the end zone. A huge turnaround for SAGU, who just moments ago had the ball pinned deep in their own end with Langston vying to go up by 2 scores. The pick and then a solid drive on every facet of this offense. Looking to tie this game up now.
I want to talk about something here after the extra point, Tim. Something we've seen SAGU do all season, and now they go against the grain, if you will. Extra point is up, and it is good, and we are knotted up at 7. 6:58 left in the first quarter. So SAGU comes out here, 3 out wide to the right, 1 to the left, as you take a look at the other games happening in the Student Athletic Conference around the nation. They come out with 1 to the left, and how many times have we seen them take a shot deep down the sideline to that guy to the left? And now Zachariah Johnson breaks that route off, cuts it across the middle. Did you see how wide open he was for that touchdown? Maybe a little bit of scouting on SAGU's part.
Those are the things you work on all year long if you are thinking like that, and these coaches are, I can guarantee you. You run a play like that continuously. You know Langston's seen it. You know in that bunch formation you've been running quick bubble screens and deep outs. Instead, you run a quick slant in. Langston was not ready for it, and it converts. Those are some big scores. Texas Wesleyan rolling against Lyon. Will it be enough to jump them 7 spots into the top 20 for their case? Arizona Christian, they need to gain 2 spots into the top 20. Ottawa, Arizona is They're set. They're set.
What's more impressive right now in these two wins for the Firestorm and OUAZ? Is it the 6 points that the Spirit have held the Aggies to, or is it the 41 that the Firestorm have put up on the board on Wayland Baptist?
I mean, really, the only team we're looking at is Arizona Christian, though, because Ottawa, Arizona is set as they will field the kick.
That is a very dangerous point to start the return. It's going to work out for him, though, as he gets it past the 30, and they're going to have good field position here, and maybe even 15 more as flags come flying in on the Langston sideline. We'll see what happens here at the end of the play.
We'll see here.
Justin Campbell hit him late on that far sideline.
Wasn't a ton of contact there, but it did occur out of bounds. Referee's consultant. We'll see what the call is.
Personal foul. Laid it out of bounds. SAGU number 34. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It was, of course, number 84. It was Campbell, but on 84. The return. There we go. I don't know if he can hear me from down there, but Dalen Thompson on the return. So that'll set up the Langston Lions real pretty here, just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
Obviously, you can't hit a guy out of bounds. I'm not sure if that was quite enough to justify 15 yards, but it sets the orange and blue up well. I can't say Lions. I got to think of something else.
They'll hand it off here on first down. He gets it to the outside. Not much more. A good job by SAGU's defense to stretch that out and limit the damage on first down from Markel Scott.
Speed across the board. That's what we've said about this SAGU defense all year. You can't stretch them. You can't stretch them to either end. The DBs, the linebackers, they are just too quick to those spots.
2nd and 8 here coming for Langston. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Got an H back in here for Harrington. Sends Scott in motion, and he will hand it off to him, trying to get to the outside, and he will get around the edge. Not much more, but he lowers a mean shoulder on that Langston sideline. It might be cold, but it is physical. We actually have a flag come in here very late. This is going to be well after the play. I'm not sure what could be. There's some jawing happening for sure.
A lot of jawing, and Langston's backing up.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Langston number 57, 15-yard penalty.
So
third down.
The lineman
57's first unsportsmanlike conduct.
Seth Scott with the personal foul, 15 yards in the wrong direction here for Langston. I didn't see what happened. I was looking at the main focus or the main action on that play.
There was a scrum in there, lots of guys in their face, and who knows what got said. Most devastating thing is that is a post-play penalty. Yeah. So those 15 yards are after the down. So what was going to be 3rd and 5 is now 3rd and 20. Got to be smarter than that. You cannot make those mental mistakes.
Harrington back to pass. It's going to be a screen. He sets it up beautifully, looking to follow the blockers, but a good job by SAGU. Bending but not breaking, and that'll bring up 4th down. And that should be realistically a 3 and out here for Langston. So they started off with really good field position with the really good kick return and the 15-yard penalty, setting them up at the 49-yard line. But a killer unsportsmanlike conduct kills that drive.
And I say it every week, but I'll say it again. I'll forgive holding. I'll forgive pass interference, illegal contact. I'll even forgive roughing the quarterback because you're playing so hard. But those post and pre-snap penalties that have nothing to do with the game, those are the most devastating ones.
SAGU does end up running into the kicker, but no flag. I think ill intent here. Moss has to get away from it. We've seen one muffed punt. You got to get away from it. I realize it's a good punt. You maybe want to try to save something, but that'll be 1st and 10 for the Lions inside their own 15, where they will take over after the defense holds Langston to a 3 and out.
3 and out when the ball is placed essentially at midfield to start is huge.
Big win for the SAGU defense.
SAGU's defense with now an interception and a 3 and out in the last 2 drives. And handing the ball back to Briley Green, who looked sharp on that last drive. Couple of well-thrown completions. That little slant to the middle of the field, one of the prettier routes we've seen this season.
Wide open.
I love those pristine, quick routes. Nothing against a nice, speedy, deep route, but those precision crosses and slants, you love them.
Green on first down will pitch it to Dudek. Dudek following the blockers. Cuts it upfield, and he's going to get brought down after a gain of 2.
Rashad Washington on the tackle. Fights through his man. This sheds right off of Roderick Williams to wrap up Dudek.
Make it 2nd and 8. Good play there by the freshman defensive end, Rashad Washington.
SAGU going back to a huddle. We've seen them revert to this a lot these last few weeks, it feels like. Slowing the game down, actually getting into an old school huddle. They've been no huddle to start the year off, but they've looked a lot better since they've slowed this game down and gotten in huddles.
And I'm a fan of the no huddle offense. I like letting your quarterback kind of draw it up in the dirt. And we will get a delay of game, so we see them go into the huddle, maybe a little too long.
Delay game. SAGU number 1. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
That is the only hitch to that plan, is if you're in the huddle, you got to speed something else up as well. The play clock does not stand still just because you are.
Unfortunate penalty there for SAGU as it makes it 2nd and 13 from the 10-yard line. SAGU backed up. They want to pick up some yardage here, even if just to play the field position game.
5 wide.
Empty
Inside their own
backfield.
10-yard line.
Yep, empty backfield here for Green. Green, let's go. Quick hitter to the side. He's got Rowell. Rowell keeps his feet. And they get back to about where they were prior to that delay of game. It's going to make it 3rd and 7.
Settles it back into a multifaceted down here. Another good-looking route selection there. You have 3 guys, 1 cut in, 1 go deep. Somebody's going to get open if you're looking quick to that. And that shows that Briley Green is quicker on his decision-making than he was at the beginning of the year. They can rely on him to quickly identify who has won their route, who has gotten clear because of that route tree. Picks up a couple and has a makeable 3rd down now.
3rd and 7. Here's Green. Back to pass. Empty backfield. Lets it go deep. Looking for his man. Over his head. Incomplete. Sailed on him a bit. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the punting unit will come out. A 3-and-out for the SAGU offense. And this is a big opportunity here for Ryan Lewis. You want to try to get it as far as you can and play the field position game, but this is a tall task. Essentially on the goal line. He's going to be fielding this punt at the 1-yard line.
We've seen him boom a couple this year. This would be a pretty substantial feat if this is anywhere inside Langston territory, honestly, with the return game they have.
Low snap, goes down and gets it, and it is a spiraling kick. And it'll land at the 46 and take a huge roll. That is a phenomenal punt from Ryan Lewis. It gets out of bounds at the 31.
Could not ask for more. Call it about a 58, 59-yard punt when all is said and done. I said if they got Langston territory, it's great. He has different styles, though. He wasn't relying on a big booming kick. He launched that like a quarterback flinging a pass. And had that not skittered out of bounds, that might have rolled even further.
I think it was moving.
He got stolen. He had a couple yards stolen from him, at least by the sideline there. And so Langston will set up at their own 31 instead of the great field position they thought they might have been able to gain.
On 1st down, they roll out here on the pass attempt. It will be completed into the flat. Decent chunk of change there on 1st down, makes it about 2nd and 7.
Isaac Gowdy spying that the whole way. What these DBs for SAGU do so well is getting to the guy as soon as he makes the catch, not letting him plant his feet, make a second move. Quick reactions, and you only surrender 3 yards there.
Jeray Austin on the reception. SAGU had 12 men on the field. They get off the field. 2nd and 7. Here's Harrington, 3 to his left. He will turn around and hand it off to Scott. Scott looking to bounce it outside. Nothing doing there. Phenomenal job by that SAGU front. They push him out of bounds past the original line of scrimmage. That'll make it 3rd and possibly 11 here. I think they're going to mark him down for a loss of 1.
Chris Bakos, he's lined up on the left side. He's your left linebacker there. Stays strong the whole way. The line gets strung out, and it's just whoever gets through the hole is going to get the tackle, and Bakos is the one to get home that time, bring it up 3rd and 11.
Loss of 4 rather, on second down, makes it 3rd and 11. Empty backfield here for Harrington. He's back to pass. SAGU brings 4. He pumps. He's rolling out to his right. He's going to plant and throw. It's intercepted again. He makes a move out of bounds. Is that Nelson? It is Zach Nelson, the senior linebacker on senior day with his 2nd interception of the afternoon of the first quarter, and SAGU's offense is sitting pretty inside Langston territory.
Same as exact last time. I mean, Nelson is right there. Harrington never identifies that Zach Nelson is lurking underneath. He had pressure in his face. Going to throw a dangerous pass off his back foot right here. Needs to maybe just tuck that and run, and completely misses that Nelson is right underneath. This pick will give SAGU the ball at the 24-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 24. Green gets him off sides. He's going to take a free shot down the sideline. Incomplete. We know the call here will be offsides on Langston, so it'll be 1st and 5 from the 19. I'm being told that is Zach Nelson's 3rd interception in the last 2 weeks. Had 0.
Langston number 46, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
0 entering the game last week, and now has 3 in the last 5 quarters, essentially.
Not bad at all. And both of those have been crucial. One stalls out what was looking to be a big Langston drive starting in SAGU territory. This one hands your offense amazing field position. 1st and 5 now after that, offsides.
Inside the red zone from the 19. Green, bunch to the right. He's back to pass on 1st down. He's going to let it go, looking for the corner of the end zone. Goes up, brings it in. Touchdown, Lions. Finds Paul O'Didi on the goal line, and his big 6'4" receiver goes up and brings it in for the touchdown.
And Adam, that's the same setup we were talking about earlier on the first touchdown, only this time it's O'Didi up top, who's going to run a quick little route in and then spread back out for the jump ball in the end zone, which is O'Didi's specialty. Perfect pitch and catch at the end zone, and SAGU has their first lead of the afternoon.
Riggin basket to snap. Lewis bobbles the snap, and now Woodley has it, and he just flings it looking for anybody. Ball's up in the air. SAGU falls on it. It's going to be a forward pass. If that ball hit the ground, it's incomplete. A lot of chaos there, so it'll be 13-7 after the miscommunication on the snap on the extra point. So SAGU will be up 6 rather than 7. Exciting extra point opportunity there for SAGU.
You love Woodley just saying YOLO. It's the last week of the season. I'm going for a 2-point touchdown pass here. Two-handed over the shoulder, no look, off the backboard. Couldn't quite make it land.
Looking like Martis Mariota from this past Thursday night, throwing off the turf. It'll be 13-7.
Don't offend Kieran Woodley by comparing him to Marcus Mariota. Amazing drive there, though, after the Zach Nelson interception. Like you said, a beautiful setup right there. As we were just talking about that route that they've been running all year long, that's what they've been going for. Instead, they get the quick slant in on the first drive. That gets the touchdown. Then maybe Langston sees it again. Oh, I'm not going to let O'Didi get me inside. O'Didi's not cutting inside. O'Didi is going outside, boxing you out, and going up and getting the ball with his 6'7" frame.
7, adding a couple inches there.
6'5", 6'7". It's all, you know. He jumps and gets to at least 7'5".
Oh, so. Yeah. Okay, I got you there. You're looking at the frame. The kickoff will be fielded inside the 5-yard line. Had a good return last time. SAGU does a good job of bottling him up, and he will be brought down at the 21-yard line. Being told that is the 7th. This is the 7th game. Briley Green has had 2 or more touchdown passes. So a really good season from your freshman quarterback, and he really did turn it around. It felt like it was going to be kind of freshman growing pains at the beginning of the year, but Briley Green has really stepped into this role and had a really good season.
His bounce back from that devastating day in Fort Worth when they got slobber knockered, as they say, by Texas Wesleyan. A lot of teams could have folded under that, especially a young team with a freshman quarterback. Briley Green has responded spectacularly since. They have not lost since.
On first down, they will hand it off here. Nothing doing there. They're going to get a no gain on first down, make it 2nd and 10.
Not a place you're going to attack very often and succeed. Right up the gut. Too many big guys up front. Keandre Belcher is in on part of that. As well, I believe Jaden Holcomb is in as well. A lot of big bodies to try to get out of the way.
Tyler Travis getting his first carry of the afternoon. 2nd and 10, 3 out wide to the left here for Harrington, 1 to the right. Travis remains in the backfield. Bobbles a snap here on 2nd down, but lets it go into the flat. SAGU doing a good job not letting anything after the catch. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Langston had success on their first drive on their one deep pass down the field. These quick routes are not going to get you much against this SAGU secondary.
They swarm.
Quick.
Yep, they swarm to the ball.
There's 5 gray jerseys there. And there was only 2 when he let loose the ball. They all get there that quick.
3rd and 8 in what might be the last play here in the first quarter, as we are under 30 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. They'll snap it. Back to pass, deep drop. Harrington lets it go, has his man. He's got enough for the first down, and they will move the chains. Dalen Thompson on the first down reception.
Thompson streaking across the middle of the field. That's a pure speed run, getting chased the whole way.
They don't have to snap it, but they can if they elect to do so. 4 seconds on the game clock here in the first quarter. And that will do it for quarter number 1. SAGU off the back
That's the end of the first quarter.
2 long touchdown passes, one to Zachariah Johnson, the other to Paul O'Didi, gives them 13 points. And Langston on their first drive, the 56-yard score from Harrington to Hanspard, gets them their lone score of the first quarter.
Back and forth quarter, we've seen 2 interceptions from Langston, a muffed punt on SAGU's end that was immediately erased by the interception. 2 3-and-outs for SAGU, 1 3-and-out for Langston. SAGU took its opportunity. SAGU has taken advantage of both of those huge interceptions to tally 14 points. Langston could not take advantage of the muff punt or the potential field position gaining opportunities of SAGU punting from deep in their own end zone. Looking at some first quarter stats, that is, O'Didi, 1 catch, 19 yards and a touchdown. Briley Green, just 44% on the day, but looking sharp otherwise. 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zachariah Johnson with the other touchdown catch. 105 total yards for Langston. A lot of that, over half of that on one play. SAGU with 84. 4 penalties for 27 yards. That was a huge penalty early, too. Don't forget that one in the grand scheme of this game. Langston was looking at a 3rd and 5 in SAGU territory. And unsportsmanlike conduct penalty moved to the 3rd and 20, and the drive was toast from there.
As we start the second quarter, 1st and 10 after the new set of downs, Harrington will turn around and hand it off up the middle, cut down quickly for a gain of maybe half a yard. I think they'll call it 2nd and 10.
Zach Nelson coming in to lay the hit on that run. So 2 picks, and he's still in there making tackles. These linebackers these days, they don't play the way linebackers used to play. You are asked to be a lot, and these SAGU linebackers have stepped up throughout the year to fill those roles, especially in a 3-4. In a 3-4, because you got 4 of them.
A brand new 3-4. Might we add. The change from 4-3 to 3-4 we thought was going to be a good one, and it has been. Play action rolling out. Harrington across the middle, off the hands of his intended receiver, Thompson. It'll fall incomplete and bring up 3rd down.
And Zach Nelson was angry with himself. I think he thought he had a shot at picking that off. His 3rd pick of the game. We'll see in the replay here. Nelson cuts up.
Oh, just over his head.
That was pretty close. It wasn't as close as I think he thinks it was. That would have been a tough interception.
Hey, what do they say when shooters in basketball are hitting everything from 3? The net is as big as a swimming pool. I think the ball right now for Nelson is as big as a beach ball. He thinks he's got a shot at everything. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 here for Langston. And a bad snap. Harrington picks it up. Busted play. He's going to take off with it. He fumbles it. Live ball. SAGU has it. Heron down the sideline, down to the 20. Throws a stiff arm. He's going to get brought down out of bounds. Another turnover. Back-to-back turnovers for this Lions defense. And they set the offense back up now inside the 10-yard line.
Disaster from start to finish. Harrington does a great job of even keeping it alive. Doesn't need to do that, though. It's too dangerous. Gets it knocked loose. And SAGU's offense is going to be cooking now inside the 10. Starting to see who actually knocked it loose there. Was it Keandre Belcher who actually got the hand on it on the sack?
Everyone flying around. It was recovered by Damaris Heron down that far sideline. It'll set SAGU up 1st and goal from the 10.
3rd turnover in their last 4 drives. 2 picks and a fumble from Harrington. He only had 5 picks coming in on the year, and 3 of his last 4 drives have ended in turnovers.
Here's Green, back to pass on 1st down. He rolls out to his right. He lets it go out of bounds, just throws it away, brings up 2nd and 10.
Just eat that drive, be safe with it. Looking for Dudek early on, good blanketing there. And you almost would have loved to see that thrown a little further out of bounds. Of course, you want to make sure it's not intentional grounding. Even as you let that loose, I was like, "Ooh, there's a shot at a toe-tapping kick there."
Yeah, that ball needs to wind up on those diamonds that are up at on the track that you're seeing on your screen, as opposed to aiming for that back pylon. 2nd and 10, 2nd and goal now from the 10, I should say, here for SAGU. Play clock down to 5. We'll see if they get this off. We've ever seen one delay a game. And they do get it off. They will hand it off to Dudek here. Dudek cuts back upfield for a gain of 2. They'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 8. You'd like to see another touchdown here off the turnover.
This is a problem we saw last week against Texas College. A couple of drives early on that SAGU had great field position courtesy of their defense and special teams. Had to settle for close field goals. You love what you're doing on defense right now, but when you set up at the 10-yard line, yeah, you got to come away with 6. Obviously, you settle for the field goal here if you have to, put yourself up by 2 scores. But you need to find a way to get this in the end zone.
Bunch to the left here for Green. 1 to the right. Dudek in the backfield. He's back to pass here on 3rd down. He lets go to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Diving attempt by his receiver on the outside. That is number 80, Zach Fuller, the tight end.
Looks like somebody might have got a hand on it. Nope, never did. Little bit too much zip on it. Zach Fuller was unable to corral it in. So it will be 3 straight plays, not a 3 and out, because you're coming out to kick it. It feels like it, doesn't it? Anytime you have 3 offensive plays and you don't get in the end zone, in a way it's a 3 and out.
25-yard field goal attempt here for Kieran Woodley. We saw a bad snap and a bobbled hold attempt. Good snap, good hold. Woodley gets the kick up, and it is good. Kieran Woodley with a 25-yard field goal makes it 16-7 SAGU. 2 straight scoring drives here for the SAGU Lions. Put them up 2 scores, up by 9.
And all their points today off turnovers now. The 2 Zach Nelson interceptions and the Damaris Heron scoop down to the 10-yard line. Some more score updates here. And I say updates, it's all final except for we're waiting on that final from Tyler. Texas Wesleyan crushes Lyon.
Louisiana Christian is final.
Oh, that game is final with Louisiana Christian.
You don't think so because it's only 15.
Arizona Christian 41-14, Ottawa, Arizona 40-6. And as we've said, Ottawa, Arizona is actually 20th, and Arizona Christian is 22nd in the most updated polls. We now have, that's it. Those 3 teams are your conference champions. So congratulations, Rams, Firestorm, and Spirit. You're all conference champions.
That just,
But one of you is the real conference champion because you get to go to the playoffs. I didn't say that very loudly, but that's what we all know it's true.
I mean, you said it plenty loud in the pregame segment.
One of those is the real champion. And we're going to, because whoever's playing in late November in the NAIA playoffs, I'm sorry, that's the tiebreaker. And as we said, if you were watching the pregame show, at the moment Ottawa, Arizona holds the pole position because they're already in the top 20. They have the automatic bid. Unless Arizona Christian gets those 2 spots bumped up they need, then they own the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Spirit, and they go. Doesn't matter where the Spirit are ranked, unless the Spirit were somehow get inside the top 15 and have an at-large bid. Seems unlikely. The Spirit could be 2-3 spots ahead of Arizona Christian. Arizona Christian would still go if they're in the top 20. So, and Texas Wesleyan, they were lobbying all week. They were tweeting straight at the NAIA saying,
yes, they were.
Hey, we're playing hard. Did they win enough to sway 7 full spots? I don't think so, but who knows?
On first down, Scott cuts it back to the opposite field. He looks to bounce it outside. Pretty good run there on first down by Markel Scott. He picks up, call it 6 on first down, make it 2nd and 4.
So the conference champions are set, and we just wait till Sunday night now as we come back here. 2nd and 4 for Langston. As he said, since that first drive where they had their big touchdown pass, it's gone pick, 3 and out, pick, fumble. So looking to regain some of that early momentum they were clicking with.
2nd and 4, Harrington. Kind of a busted play there. He's going to keep it himself, get to the outside, and make it 3rd and short. And that's actually better than what you would think that play would turn into, because it looked like there was some miscommunication between Harrington and Scott, and he just kind of tucked it and ran with it to the left side.
Yeah, he thought Scott was coming to the other side for what was probably going to be a read option situation. Option was made pretty clear at that point. Harrington, quick reaction, will bring up a 3rd and very short. They've had a couple of 3rd down conversions already today, including on the big touchdown pass.
3rd and 2. Langston desperately wants a first down here after a couple of turnovers, some 3 and outs. They got to get this ball moving. They will hand it off here on 3rd down. Scott spins off a tackle. He's got it, enough for a first down, keeps his feet, throws a stiff arm into SAGU territory, and Langston picks up a much-needed first down.
And Scott is going to drag Patrick McGee. Let's just count it here. He grabs a hold of him at the 44-yard line and gets all the way to the SAGU 45. That is almost 11 full yards with like a kid hanging onto your leg, just driving forward.
That's always humbling to get dragged forward for about 12 yards. 1st and 10 here for Langston. Into SAGU territory. SAGU shows blitz. They do bring a blitz. Looking for any sort of running room is Scott. Nothing doing there. Gain of 1 there on first down.
I believe it's Carter Lincoln. No, not even Carter Lincoln, but a strong tackle coming here from defensive back position. Trying to get the number there. There we go. 25, Ryan Saxton. The DB comes flying in. There's not just the linebackers coming in to make big tackles on those stretch run plays.
2nd and 9 here for Langston. Harrington fakes a handoff. He's back to pass. Deep drop. Let's go deep down the middle of the field. Double coverage. Incomplete. The feet get tied up, and they are going to get a flag. I'm not sure if they're going to call the flag on the contact that was made down the field. Maybe a holding around that 20-yard line.
The ref deliberately aimed the flag back towards the 20.
Not sure.
Pass interference, SAGU number 30, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So they do call the pass interference. It had to happen around that 20-yard line. The ball was in the air for quite a bit, so they do get Patrick McGee on the pass interference.
And that's just such a tough one. When the ball's up there for that long, you're running with the guys. It's so easy to get tangled up. Unfortunate, because the pass wasn't close to being completed. It's one of those you didn't need to make any contact at all, but it sets Langston up inside SAGU's 30.
From the 29, 1st and 10, they will hand it off to Markel Scott. Scott keeps the feet moving and picks up 3 yards there on first down. Maybe 2, make it 2nd and 8.
As we said earlier, Scott, one of the more bruising running backs SAGU has had to face this season, averaging almost 90 yards a game. And he does it the hard way. He has been knocking heads, fighting through the trenches, and finds a way to get those extra yards.
Violent runner is Markel Scott. Harrington will keep it on the read option. Throws a stiff arm, gets tripped up. Good tackle on the outside by Isaac Gowdy.
That is great open field tackling by Isaac Gowdy. If he gets beat to the outside, Harrington's going to have potentially the first down. Gowdy locks eyes with him, does what he has to do, goes kind of wraps up the ankles. As he said, if you don't have your ankles, it's hard to run. big stop and brings up 3rd and 7.
Gain of 1 on the play. Like you said, 3rd and 7 here for Langston. Empty backfield, 3 to the left, 2 to the right here for Larry Harrington, this senior quarterback. Looking for another 3rd down conversion. Got to get the play off here. He's got 1 on the play clock. And he is not going to get it off. That is going to be a delay of game. So 3rd and 7.
Oh, Langston got a timeout.
They did get a timeout.
Timeout. Langston, that's their first time out of the half.
Really good job by head coach Quentin Morgan. A 3rd and 12. Where you're at is very deflating. You wanted to keep it 3rd and 7.
Not only would that is so much tougher to convert, but field goal positioning matters as well. Looking around here is some big games that we are watching, the big matchups. That Georgetown loss to Lindsey Wilson. You know Arizona Christian's watching that
yes,
one pretty closely. But then Carroll beats College of Idaho. So are they in the top 20?
Chaos.
You love it. You love the chaos so much. Some big matchups, some close games across the board. St. Xavier wins by 3 over St. Francis. 6-point win for Southwestern over Kansas Wesleyan. A 6-point game. And actually, I was following that one on Twitter through our NAIA F-ball friends. Georgetown had the ball late. I believe it was a strip sack. Lindsey Wilson recovered for a touchdown to steal the win away from Georgetown, essentially knock Georgetown out of the playoffs. Tomorrow night's going to be wild. We're all going to be watching that selection show, that bracket show. I really don't even – I cannot say I have any clue how they're going to come out with that top 20. It's been crazy.
And that's when it's always best, when you have no idea. Here's Harrington on 3rd and 7. Let's go across the middle of the field. Has his man wide open. He is going to be awfully close to the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, Langston. Byron Hanspard with his 2nd touchdown reception of the afternoon.
A slow-moving cross over the middle. Blocks out the defender. Almost an undefendable route. Feel like he was short of the goal line on that angle, but if he was short, it's only by an inch or 2. They give him the score, so 2nd touchdown catch of the game. Gets Langston back on the board after a over quarters gap.
Extra point is up, and it is good, and we have a 16-14 ball game after the touchdown pass from Larry Harrington to Byron Hanspard. Again, the 2nd connection between these two so far this evening. If you're just joining us and you want to see your name and your comment on screen, there you see at the bottom, comment in the live chat on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, wherever you're watching. Let us know where you're from, who you're rooting for, what are you up to today. We always like interacting with our fans, not just from the SAGU Nation, from Langston Nation, anywhere across the country, wherever you're watching. We love to interact with you guys. Tim, walk us through some of these stats that you see here after that Langston touchdown, where we're at 16-14 now.
I mean, Byron Hanspard obviously had the big catch early on, 82 yards now, 2 touchdowns. But Markel Scott, he's been the guy that's been dragging this team forward, especially on that drive. Not a whole lot going on in the quarter in between, but those 2 big runs by Markel Scott, especially the 3rd down conversion where he got Langston into SAGU territory. He's been toting the rock, 5.1 yards a carry, having a very solid afternoon. Larry Harrington, 2 interceptions on the day and a fumble. So uncharacteristic from him, but he's made it count on 2 very nice touchdown passes, and that's how we are where we are, a 2-point game with 9.5 to play in the first half.
They will kick it off. It's a short kick brought in at the 15. Jalen Moss cuts it upfield, keeps his feet. He gets it past the 40, past the 50, into Langston territory. Jalen Moss brought down at the 38-yard line. The SAGU defense and special teams now providing short fields for the SAGU offense has really sparked their performance so far today.
As they have all year long. And Jalen Moss, I thought he was going to break one finally. You know, he's wanted one so bad all year. And for a moment there, it looked like he might have had enough of a lane and enough of a head start. Still a great return from a guy who has been so dangerous on the punt and kick return game all season long.
I was gearing up for it, Tim. I was ready. I was ready to lose my mind on the Jalen Moss kickoff return. But he set SAGU up at the 38-yard line. Phenomenal return. Little trickery here. They hand it off, or they pitch it to Dudek. That goes nowhere. A good job by Langston to wrap that up, and a huge loss on first down.
A little bit too slow moving here. That needs to happen a bit faster, and somebody needs to lay a block there. Coming pretty much untouched is Devin Doriso. We talked about him pregame as a key leader on this Langston defense. He came untouched on that, blew it completely off the doors. Not the start to a drive you wanted after such great field position. You started your last drive at the 10 to settle for a field goal. You get the ball inside the 40 and can't come away with points. That would be a huge, huge killer thing here late in the first half.
5 wide here for Briley Green on 2nd and 14, back to pass. And miscommunication between Green and Zachariah Johnson.
Yeah.
Green wanted him to go deep. Johnson went short, falls incomplete.
Yeah, Johnson is pointing at the spots on the field where he thought that was supposed to be. Not the right play call. And honestly, had Johnson even run that route, that ball was going to be overthrown in that situation. So 3rd and long now. This is a crucial, crucial spot. If you can at least pick up 7 or 8 here, you have a very manageable 4th down situation that you would probably go to. So you have some options here if you're Briley Green.
3rd and 14. Green back to pass. Swings it out to Dudek, and it's knocked away. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th and 14.
Alonzo Henderson getting blocked on the left side, but gets that big paw up. Swats it down, and not a lot to do here. Not close enough for a field goal, too long to conceivably make this 4th down, and so you have that horrible situation where you're punting inside Langston territory. Back-to-back drives where SAGU's offense has not taken advantage as much as they should have.
It'll result in a 3 and out here for SAGU. And you hate to see that after the long kickoff return by Jalen Moss. Good punt from Lewis. The spiraling punt will be downed right around that 15-yard line where it bounced out of bounds. I think they'll mark it at the 16, and they will. So good job by Ryan Lewis to pin them back inside their own 20-yard line. And that is where Langston will take over with 8:12 left to go in the first half.
2 straight drives that you can essentially mark down as 3 and outs. Starting at the 10-yard line, settling for a field goal, then starting at the 39, punting 3 plays later. That stings. That stings in a 2-point game. You don't have another one of those. Let's just say that. You don't have another one of those that you can waste against Langston. You may get away with 2. You won't get away with 3.
Low snap handled. Harrington hands it off. Going nowhere. Gain of 1.
Keandre Belcher
Tyler Travis on the right.
sheds right through the middle, wraps him up. We haven't called his name as much the last few weeks, and I feel like it's just because teams have learned to stay away from him. Sometimes you see dominant corners never get targeted. Feels like Belcher is that, only he's a nose tackle. We can't run towards him. We run our entire offense away from him because there is no succeeding when he is in the mix.
2nd down, Harrington running for his life. He's going to go down. Keandre Belcher should get credit for that sack. That'll bring up 3rd and a mile here for Langston. You just said it. 2 plays in a row. Keandre Belcher gets his name called.
And I'm going to give him credit to that sack as well. He is touching him when he goes down. He is the one that slices through. So 2 huge plays from Belcher has Langston pinned inside their 10, facing 3rd and 17.
3rd and very long here for Larry Harrington.
Play clock down to 5.
Yeah, we've seen a delay of game for either team so far today. And they will get the play off. Back to pass Harrington. It's another screen. Falls incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down, and the punting unit will come out. 3 and out here for Langston to match SAGU's 3 and out their last drive.
Sell-out blitz there, forced Harrington to simply throw that one as quick as he could. He was lucky that it fell harmlessly when you throw it into that much traffic. And we say it time and time again, but the defense comes up huge. Right as the momentum's starting to shift a little bit, your offense doesn't do what they need to do. Big chance for Langston to go back down and retake the lead. Big tackle, sack, blitz, 3 and out.
Elliot Yanish on the punt here for Langston in his own end zone. A high spiraling punt. Jalen Moss lets it bounce, and that is a beautiful punt by Langston. That's about as good a job as you can ask from his own 9-yard line. It goes out of bounds at the 37. Very good punt by Yanish in this Langston special teams unit.
We got 2 punters on the field today. That is
I love it, Tim. I love it. I love special teams play. SAGU takes over at the 37. And we got a trivia question for you, Tim. Hit me with it.
In the last 10 years, how many times has SAGU football finished 4th or better in conference play?
10 years.
Because a win today would have them as the 4th team in the conference. They would have the tiebreaker over Louisiana Christian. They would be number 4 if they were to win today.
So we're going from 2021 to 2011. I assume we're not counting today.
Yes.
On 1st and 10, we'll think about that here in a second. Looking to go deep for his man, almost intercepted through the hands of defensive backs. It looked like on the outside, Raquan Washington. So I'm thinking back, I got to SAGU 2012. So I don't know as much about the 2011 season. I got to SAGU 2012, and I'm trying to think of the teams that I came and watched and I covered as a sideline reporter. I'm trying to think if I can get an exact number, Tim.
And the other thing to consider is 10 years ago, this conference was a lot smaller than it is now.
The CSFL,
the CSFL was typically a conference of 5 or 6. So being 4th some of those years meant you were next to last. Not 2011, I don't think. I think I have my guess when we get around to it. As a little bit of a hole for
Keaton Dudek on 2nd down. It looked like that was going to break out for a long run, but a good job in the open field by Langston. Brings up 3rd mid.
That's the first run from Dudek, however, today that had any sort of positive yardage. It was a great reaction there from Jaden Dockery to crash in and get him off his feet. Langston's in chaos.
They do get a timeout. They had too many men on the field. It looks like they got a timeout off.
Timeout.
And they do.
Langston, that's their 2nd timeout of the half.
It's a good timeout by Langston as it would have resulted in the first down. Tim, I am going to go with 4. My guess is 4.
I'm going to go much higher than that if we're talking top 4. I'm going to say, we got a guess for 2. I'm going to go way higher than that. I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say 7 of the last 10.
You know what? I think I'm not giving them enough credit being top 4. I'm going all out. I'm going to stick with 4. Let's see the answer. 6. Oof.
1 off. But yeah,
Man.
Look at that streak there. 2013, 2014, 15, 17, 20, and 2021. A win today would make it 7. But yeah, that is a testament to how far this program has come.
Can you name the 3 quarterbacks in those years? 2013 was one. 2014 through 2017 was another. And then 2020, 2021 was another quarterback.
Well,
Can you name the 3 quarterbacks?
Well, obviously CJ.
CJ Collins.
Yeah. Oh, no. My brain's gone cold. I'm having a total brain freeze.
Well, 2020, 2021, Jordan Barlow.
Jordan Barlow, yeah.
2013.
Oh, that was before I had come back and started calling these games. Oh, give me a second as we face this big 3rd and 2 for SAGU.
They will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek weaving through traffic. He's got enough for the first down. Needed 2, and he got 3. That'll move the chains here for SAGU.
Couple of big 3rd down runs. Oh, man, again, that was right before I came back and was calling the games.
I attended most of those games. I had a couple of roommates who were on those teams.
I could tell you who was a quarterback in about 2 years before that because I don't believe at that point it still would have been I'm blanking entirely now.
Now you got me doubting myself. I thought I had the answer. 1st and 10 here. I think it's Reed Golson. I think that's the answer.
Okay, that's who I was thinking, but I thought he was 2010, 2011.
Now I have no idea.
Was Reed Golson the first quarterback? SAGU won a share of the conference title back in, I believe it was 2012.
2013. I think it was Reed Golson.
In that case, it's Golson, Collins, and Barlow. All right.
Yep, there it is.
Confirmation. Those were the 3 quarterbacks who have led SAGU to top 4 finishes. Can Briley Green be the 4th here today?
That's a big feat. He's in elite company with a win today. Here on 2nd and 7 in Langston territory. Back to pass is Green. Green, a flag comes in. He's rolling out, running for his life. Looks to get it to his man in the flat, and it looks like it is incomplete. Was looking for Colby Tanner. Green took a shot. There is a flag on the play. It's going to be offsides against Langston. I think I saw was the signal.
Offside. Langston, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Travis Martin. So we saw a defensive back line up hat for hat with a receiver on the outside. Just barely over. You don't see that called all that often.
No, and that's one of those that typically they'll give the DB or a linebacker, if they're the ones who are coming in real tight, they'll give them a warning on the very first time. So maybe he already got his warning to being told, hey, take a step back, take a step back. That time lined up essentially in the neutral zone will give SAGU a free 5 yards to set up 2nd and 2.
I got something for you here, Tim, after the 2nd down play. 2nd and 2.
Your trivia questions are tougher than
It's not
James's.
It's not a trivia question. No. Here's Green on 2nd down. Lets it go to the middle of the field. Almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Jaden Dockery. And SAGU lives to fight another day here on 3rd down.
Dockery's going to need help back to the line of scrimmage after that one. That was a pick the moment it left Briley Green's hands. I was already writing it down. Every mistake a quarterback can make, and Dockery, like I said, that pigskin just gets a little bit harder to grab when it's 45 degrees. That's all I'm going to say.
If we ever needed confirmation that it was indeed Reed Golson in 2013, how about confirmation from the man who protected his blind side and Big Pete Okorican?
There we go.
The tackle, confirming our beliefs in chat. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that.
We got legends in the chat.
Legends in the chat. I love that. 3rd and short here for SAGU. Green steps up. He's going to take off with it. Lowers the shoulder. He's awfully close to the 1st down. They're going to mark him about a half a yard short, and that brings up an interesting decision here for Coach Ellis.
Ooh, this is a big one. Green probably makes the decision a half second too late. He's going to dive forward. Yeah, and he looks like he almost half slid. Offense is staying on the field.
I like it. This is the territory to go for it here.
Yep.
4th and about a yard from the 43-yard line. Green under center. He's going to keep it himself. He gets stopped initially, but the momentum keeps his feet moving. He's got enough for a first. It looks like he's got enough for a 1st down. I'm not sure they're going to mark him there. It looked like he was well past that 1st down marker.
The side judge is standing at the 42, and that's what he needed to get to, I thought. We got signals on both direction. Everybody's waving their arms. Looks like a used car dealership. Everybody's just arms flopping around, pointing both directions.
I thought that he, on the replay, look at where he is.
Watching the knee, it does feel like the ball should be further forward than they have
That should be about the 42.5-yard line rather than just the 42. The back half of his body was past the 42-yard line.
They're going to bring it out. It's been a while since we've seen a chain measurement here. We're actually going to get a chain measurement. And it'd be unfortunate if SAGU doesn't get this because we both feel like that ball should be a little further forward than it is. He got it.
And he did indeed.
Wait.
1st down.
1st down, SAGU by the nose of the football. So all that commotion for the measurement, and SAGU moves the chains with the quarterback sneak. We don't see Green go under center a whole lot. We saw him last week on the last play, offensive play of the game for SAGU. And again here now to pick up the 1st down on 4th down.
And he was stopped initially. Langston stood him up at the line, and it was the extra push, a little bit of a push from behind from Dudek that got that last little bit that he needed right to the 42-yard line, just enough for the 1st down. Under 4 minutes to play, SAGU looking for a big end-of-half score, and they will get the ball first to start the 2nd half.
No offsides, but a whistle does come in.
This might actually be a false start on SAGU.
There's a flag. I'm curious to see here.
False start. SAGU number 2. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So false start on SAGU. A flag came out down the field for pass interference, but I think it's going to be null and void because the play was blown dead.
Yeah, false start. The play was never happening. So, yeah, in that situation, obviously if you have a 15-yard penalty, you have an unsportsmanlike or personal foul, that would still factor in after a false start. But obviously you can't commit pass interference on a play that's not technically going on.
You could, but it won't count. And they did, and it didn't. So 3:32 left to play here in the first half. 1st and 15 now after the false start. This one goes against Keaton Dudick. You don't see the running back called for false starts all that often. 3 to the left here for Dudick, 1 to the right in the slot tight end position. They will hand it off to Dudick. Dudick around the outside, has a blocker in front of him. He's going to follow that block, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and about 2 more makes it 2nd and about 8.
Roderick Williams leading the way for Dudick, and we're going to have a flag come out here.
And there is a scrum. We'll see who they call this on. It was involving.
I saw Dudick stumbling away, so we'll wait on the call, but doesn't seem to be good for Langston.
We await the call from the head official. A discussion here. I'm not sure.
Personal foul. SAGU number 53. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd down. That's a dead ball.
Derwin Ferguson, I didn't see him near the play in that situation.
So a dead ball makes it 2nd down. So the down will count, makes it 2nd and 30. So after the 4th down conversion with the quarterback sneak, a false start and a personal foul on back-to-back plays makes it 2nd and long.
Yeah, the yardage will still count after the run, which is unfortunate because, you're going to face a 2nd and very manageable.
2nd and 24 to be exact.
Yeah, so now 2nd and 24. Did not see what happened, but some on both sides of the ball now within these teams, some inopportune 15-yard penalties.
Green going deep for Campbell. Campbell cannot bring it in, out of bounds. He dropped it anyway. That'll make it 3rd and 24.
What plays do you have drawn up for 3rd and 24? The problem is 3rd and 24 at your own 44-yard line. You love where you are on the field. It's good field position.
Well, you want me to be honest with you? It's not exciting. You run a draw.
Run a draw. See what happens?
Yep. You run a draw. See if you can get to the 47, 48-yard line. You're in good position to punt here. But what do I know? They come out 5 wide.
Yeah, 5 wide. No running back. So that'll be a draw.
Here's Green. Green just going to let it go deep over the head of everybody. Incomplete. Justin Campbell, the intended receiver on back-to-back plays. That'll bring up 4th down. Because here's what a draw play does, Tim. It takes 30 seconds off the clock.
That's true.
And now, incomplete pass, they've got 2:42 as opposed to probably around 2:10 on the clock. It's still, time isn't necessarily a factor, but with one timeout that Langston has, that 30 seconds could mean a lot here coming up at the end of this first half.
Big punt coming up if SAGU can pin Langston deep. Another drive. We've had Langston's had one now SAGU has one. You're moving along okay. You like where you are. You're inside the 40-yard line, and a bad 15-yard penalty destroys it all.
Really good punt here by Ryan Lewis. It's going to bounce, and it's going to keep on rolling inside the 15. It'll be down at about the 14.5. Really good punt by Ryan Lewis. Special teams been really good today here for both of these squads, both SAGU and Langston.
Yeah, no complaints so far, other than the muffed extra point. Actually, you got a muffed punt for SAGU and a muffed extra point, so you got a couple of weird snares for SAGU. They erased the muffed punt immediately with interception. A 16-14 game, I hate to say it, but that missed extra point opportunity does in fact loom a little bit right now. Still a lot of football to be played, but do not forget that, because Woodley's not going to miss an extra point. Only way you're going to miss it is that way.
Harrington fakes the handoff, back to pass, flicks it out to the left, brings it in, a beautiful ball to his receiver on the outside. Bringing it in was Dalen Thompson. So you've got enough for a first down and then some, and they'll move the chains.
Thompson is so fast. He is having to hustle so quick to get that gets the foot down, holds onto the ball as he falls out of bounds. Big first down play for Langston as they're trying to make something happen here before the end of the half. Clock ticks towards 2 minutes. Just one timeout in their pocket, though.
And a bobbled snap, and just down he goes is Scott. It looks like Scott was able to recover. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if they were trying to run a sneaky play or something, but it maybe just hit off the leg of a lineman.
That's what it looked like, or it just bounced off of Harrington's fingers. It was hard to say as it was immediately on the turf. Langston in no hurry after that, as they also don't want to give the ball back to SAGU too quick, so they aren't going to fight against the clock at the moment.
2nd and 14, 90 seconds left to play here in the first half. Here's Harrington, takes a handoff, he's back to pass, facing pressure, lets it go, underthrown and intercepted. SAGU's 3rd interception of the afternoon. Isaac Gowdy with the interception.
That was too easy.
He threw
Not a well-thrown ball by Harrington at all. A little bit of pressure. Only person on the field with a shot at it was Gowdy.
Threw off his back foot, did not have enough on it, so SAGU takes control with 1:18.
So that is now the 4th game this year for the SAGU defense with 3 or more interceptions. They have been so good across the board in so many ways. So now for SAGU, you got 1:18 left. You have all 3 timeouts. You're at the 36-yard line. You get the ball first to start the second half. It is a big moment. Don't do anything stupid, but you've got a really solid chance to get out here and add to this lead before the second half.
1st and 10 from the 36. Green sends a man in motion. He's back to pass. Looking quickly down the sideline. Has his man. He brings it in into Langston territory. Paul O'Deedy brings it in on 1st down, and now SAGU threatening to score here to close the half.
You don't even need to check the jersey number when the pass and catch look like that. That is how Briley Green and Paul O'Deedy operate on the sideline. Perfectly placed pass. Ball inside the 40-yard line. This is a big drive after SAGU's offense has wiled away a couple of big opportunities inside Langston territory. They've been inside Langston territory all of their last 3 drives, only come away with 3 points. Big opportunity here to close the half on a high note.
Back to pass again. They're going to go with the same play, looking for O'Deedy. O'Deedy goes up, brings it in, and it is going to count. Beautiful catch by Paul O'Deedy on the outside. They call the same play. Oh, they end up calling it incomplete. I thought he brought it in. Look at it here.
We'll wait. Catch.
Control. That is a catch. That left foot. That left foot.
Step. Oh, good grief.
That is a blown call by the officials on the sideline. That is clearly not even close. That is a catch from Paul O'Deedy.
Watch that foot again.
Control. The left foot
step,
in.
Control. It only needs 1 foot. And the ref up top needs to overrule that. He has the better angle. He's the one calling a catch from the start. He needs to overrule that. That is a catch. Cowboys are in Green Bay tomorrow, and I'm telling you right now, that was a catch.
Oh, Tim. And they go across the middle, incomplete through the hands of his intended receiver. That brings up 3rd and 10.
You hate a blown call like that in this situation. And I don't know what the underneath referee thought he saw. I think all he saw was that the ball was loose at the very end, well after O'Deedy was out of bounds and had taken 3 or 4 different steps.
He's on the track, and the ball comes out.
Yeah, I don't think the track can force an incomplete pass. Hate to see it. Now SAGU facing 3rd and 10. Just a touch over a minute left in the half.
3 bunch to the left here for Green on 3rd down. Back to pass. Briley Green looking across the middle of the field. He's got his man. He's got enough for a 1st down. He's right at the marker. It looked like he might have fallen backwards, and they will move the change. The clock will stop. SAGU still with 3 timeouts.
Zachary Johnson and Zachariah Johnson both splitting right through the middle. It's number 9 who gets the quick pass and lays down.
He'll take a shot deep for O'Deedy. Almost intercepted. Paul O'Deedy playing a little bit of defense there. Raquan Washington had it in his hands, and O'Deedy looked like he swatted it away.
Briley Green is lucky to not have a pick today, as that was all the defender's ball right there. And if it weren't for O'Deedy, as he said, doing a little bit of hand fighting himself to knock it loose, that would have been an interception. Second down now at the 28. You're definitely in field goal range, especially with the half end looming. But you would love to get this to a 2-score game before the clock runs out, and you do get the ball first to start the second half.
Back to pass. Green steps up. He pumps. He's going to keep it himself. Lowers the shoulder. Takes a big hit. SAGU should take a timeout here with 36 seconds left, and they will. Coach Greg Ellis calls a timeout. 33 seconds on the clock. Their first timeout of the half. But actually, their second timeout of the half, rather.
Briley Green, not a running quarterback.
Timeout. SAGU, it's their second timeout of the half.
But he does a good job there as he scrambles forward to throw one last pump fake in there to freeze the linebacker just enough to take a little bit of a better of an angle, get 6 yards, brings up 3rd and 4. Very makeable.
That quarterback pump fake, Tim, is sneakily one of the best moves in football.
Oh, yeah.
You could pump. I'm convinced that you could pump 10 yards downfield and someone would still fall forward.
Because you know, as a defensive player, your number one job is to stop a completed pass. And if the quarterback can do it, he can throw it at any point. Briley Green can let it fly if he needs to. I never fault a guy for doing that stutter step on the pump fake, because that's what a quarterback does. It is a almost unfair weapon, that especially when you do get a true dual threat running quarterback who can do that to you. It can really change a game. Briley Green, not that guy, but he utilizes it well there to set up this 3rd and just outside of short. What would you call 3rd and 4?
3rd mid. 3rd
and mid. For anything from 4 to 8, 3rd and mid, I guess.
I'd say 4 to 7 is mid. 8 gets into the long territory. Here we are on 3rd and 4. 33 seconds. 3 to the left here for Green, 1 to the right. Dudek in the backfield. Here's Green back to pass. He's taking a shot deep into the end zone. Paulo Didi through the hands of the corner again. That brings up 4th down.
If that was thrown a little bit further to the corner, that's an easy touchdown. Instead, it's underthrown, and Washington, for the second time, is going to go and get 2 hands on it. Almost intercepts it. But it was actually to Zachary Johnson was the intended receiver.
Yep.
And had he not hit it, though, that is a touchdown. So a great pass defended by Raekwon Washington. And now it'll be up to Woodley to attempt this 39-yarder, put SAGU up by 5.
Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, a low line drive from Woodley, and it is good. That makes it 19-14 here with 20 seconds left to go in the first half. SAGU puts up points, and they will get the ball to start the second half.
Solid drive there. Obviously, you always want to come away with more, but after the pick, starting in your own territory, you weren't handed some amazing field position. Made a couple of nice plays, got down the field, and did go and get some points before the half. That set you up nicely, barring anything crazy here in the last 20 seconds. Riley Green, feast or famine at the moment, just 26% completion, but he still has 106 yards out of those. Only 6 completions, averaging almost 20. No turnovers on the game for him.
I like to look at it as a third of Briley Green's passes have resulted in touchdowns.
There we go.
Completions, I'm sorry. A third of his completions have resulted in touchdowns.
Yes.
We'll look at it that way.
That is one way to look at it. Zach Nelson, however, is the star at the moment. 4 tackles and 2 interceptions.
Woodley on to kick here with 20 seconds left in the first half. It'll be an onside kick. SAGU's got it. That is definitely 10 yards downfield. SAGU's got the onside kick with 19 seconds left to go and 1 timeout.
Greg Ellis, pull out your bag of tricks. How about that? I don't know if maybe that's honestly instruction Woodley's been given if he sees a look, because Langston was not ready for it in the least. Why would they have been? Only 1 second's going to tick off the clock. SAGU still has a timeout left.
Interesting. A surprise onside kick.
I would be fascinated to find out, was that the play call, or is that one of those when you have a senior kicker who knows what he's doing, he is given permission that if he sees a certain look, go ahead and uncork it. They make it work. Now they've got 19 seconds to make something happen here. Try to pick up at least another 10 or 15 yards to give Woodley another shot, maybe a little bit more. That would be a stunning end to this half.
1st and 10 here from the 47-yard line. Briley Green, 3 to his left, will hand it off on 1st down. Dudek jump cuts, lowers his shoulder. He's going to be brought down after a gain of, call it 8.5. And a little bit of a scrum there, but no flags. Timeout SAGU with 9 seconds left to go.
Keep Dudek on the run.
Going with the quick draw, maybe hoping to pick up the 1st down for the immediate clock stop.
Timeout. SAGU. It's their 3rd and final timeout of the first half.
They are out of timeout, so with 9 seconds left now, you are facing 2nd and 1. Second and probably around 2, based upon where they've placed the ball there, just outside of 1 or 2. A first down would stop the clock.
You got to go towards the sidelines. You've got to get a 1st down here.
Because you'd have to reset the ball, get it spiked. It'd be very tough to have happen.
Oh, if they get a 1st down here on 2nd and 2, they will be able to get the ball spiked. But the clock stops all the way until it's set. I'm saying if they run it with Dudek and get a 1st down, you're probably at 6 seconds. Ball gets placed. You snap it. 4 seconds left on the clock. I mean, at that point, you're still looking at a really long field goal.
At this point, you're facing a 55-yard field goal. We have seen Woodley hit in warm-ups in the past from a little past 50.
It's cold, though, Tim. That ball is a rock coming off your foot.
Cold, and whatever wind there is coming in Woodley's face. So you're looking at some quick outs here, going to quick outs to the corners, trying to get out of bounds.
Here is 2nd, and they're going to call it 1. So they move it up a yard. 2nd and 1. Green looks confused here. Green in the shotgun. Takes a snap. Will hand it off. Dudek has enough for the 1st down. He's got to go down. He's got to go down. And he will go down. 3 seconds left. They'll get the ball placed. They've got to hurry up here. They've got to hurry. 3 seconds. Get on the line. They have not started the clock yet. The clock has started, and they did not get the play off.
That's the end of the first half.
Will run out, and SAGU, after the onside recovery, ends up not having a shot at the field goal to close the half.
That's killer. That's killer. Dudek is going to run a little bit further than he needed to, and then he stopped and didn't go down fast enough at that point. Wasted another 2nd or 2. Wide receivers had gotten too far downfield for that to be a running play. They all needed, once it's a run play, everyone needs to just stay within 5 to 10 yards of Keaton Dudek. Spread way too long. The surprise onside works, but they do not convert. That play was drawn up well. They got what they needed. They should have got that play off in time. Tough end of the half when they could have gotten a lot more. As it is, SAGU will go into the half leading by 5. Ball will go to them first to start the 2nd half.
Yep, 19-14. SAGU deferred to start the game, so they will indeed field the ball. Their offense will take the field to start the 2nd half. Don't go anywhere. Half number 2 coming your way right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team. You're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Here is the perfect chicken finger. 4 of them, actually. They're hand battered. They're cooked to order. And made with love. Raising Cane's chicken fingers will make you say, "Oh yeah." Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Raising Cane's makes perfect chicken finger meals by marinating every chicken finger for 24 hours. That's a long time. I don't even know what I was doing 24 hours ago. But those mouth-watering chicken fingers were marinating the entire taste-tempting time. Impressive, since 24 hours is longer than most celebrity marriages. On that note, our chicken fingers, cane sauce, crinkle-cut fries, coleslaw, and Texas toast are the perfect marriage of fresh and tasty. Raising Cane's, one love.
When you trust someone with your money, you're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
When a lot of people think of the NAIA, they think, oh, the talent level is less. The talent level is not as great. That is just not true. You know, there's some great athletes out here that maybe didn't have the size or the athletic ability to play at D1 or D2, but the talent level out here is tremendous. If I could give anybody advice or pitch that to anybody, I'd say give the NAIA a chance. It's a great place to play.
is the perfect chicken finger. 4 of them, actually. They're hand battered. They're cooked to order. And made with love. Raising Cane's chicken fingers will make you say, "Oh yeah." Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
I would tell students to expect to make their lifelong friends. It's not hard to find your community because SAGU is home. You can find people that either have the same passion as you or it can be completely different, but at the same time, you're able to network, but they're also going to help you along the way too.
There's such a community there, and throughout my 3 years at SAGU, I built so many connections, so many opportunities, and not only the students care about you, they pray for you, and they guide you to your God-given gift and your God-given talent.
Community starts here.
At AGCU, we are committed to forging relationships centered around faith and finance. Our purpose is to provide financial solutions to help you succeed while we tithe 10% of our annual earnings to ministry and community organizations.
Your mercy's never ending, your kindness never fading. Jesus, you're always with me. You're always with me.
not really into purple.
SAGU, never say no to a lion.
At Southwestern, we endeavor to offer more than the average college curriculum, producing men and women whose lives are pleasing to God, and that's worth everything.
Go to college?
Yep.
SAGU, right?
Nope. Decided to go to Hogwarts.
SAGU, never say no to a lion.
Welcome back to the SAGU Sports Network. We are ready for half number 2, and the temperature has dropped significantly here, Tim. It is now in the 40s. It was about 52 maybe when the game started, but getting close to a little after 6 o'clock here, and it's dropped down into the 40s, 45, and it feels like 45, but up here it feels a little bit lower than 45 down on the field when these balls, the passes hit your hands. It's cold. It definitely affects the way that these offenses play.
And we've seen some drop passes, especially on the defensive side of the ball already. So yeah, it is a chilly night, final night of regular season football here in the NAIA, and we have got a great one shaping up here, Adam. SAGU up 19-14. We've had big plays on both sides. SAGU's defense with 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Offensively, they've moved the ball effectively through portions. 3 and out. They got a touchdown pass to Odidi to put them up 13-7. Then 16-7. Another big drive from Langston, cut to 16-14. Weird sequence at the end of the half.
Yeah.
Field goal, surprise onside. You get down the field, but you can't spike the ball inside in time to get that extra field goal. Tough end of the half, and that sense, but you're getting the ball first to start the second half.
You see your names on screen. If you want to let us know where you're from, where you're watching from, we love to interact and see who is watching here on the SAGU Sports Network. Plus, you see it there. Get featured. Get your comment on the screen whenever we have a little break and we're talking stats and numbers. We'd like to see your guys' name pop up. So let us know where you're watching from, who you root for, maybe even if you're not a fan of a Sooner Athletic Conference team or even SAGU or Langston. Let us know who you root for. Now you see some scores from around the Sooner. We talked about this earlier today. Louisiana Christian, that game was final. We had a little wonkiness with our scoreboard there, but it ended up being 56-6. Louisiana Christian over Texas College, and of course Ottawa 40-6 over OPSU. Arizona Christian 41-14 over Wayland Baptist, and Texas Wesleyan 64-21 over Lyon. So this is the last game that needs panned out here in the Sooner Athletic Conference regular season. See, SAGU would be in that top 4 category because they have the head-to-head over Louisiana Christian with a win tonight. And Langston looking to move to 6-3 in conference, 7-3 overall as well as SAGU.
Not that it matters, but a Langston win would make Louisiana Christian the number 4 team since Louisiana Christian beat Langston. So in the battle for 4, SAGU is the only one who could take it from the Wildcats after their amazing run. And as we mentioned earlier, the top 3 teams there will essentially share. That's not the phrasing the conference uses, but they will all be conference champions. We will wait until tomorrow night to find out who will get that automatic bid, however.
Seeing some locations come through here in the chat. Maybank, Texas, watching Bodie Rowe. We're seeing Keandre Belcher's mom, Venny Bailey from Katy, Texas. We see her in chat every week. Anytime I see any heart emotes in chat, I know it's Miss Bailey. And we got Sea Hope's rooting for Langston all the way. I love to see that. We love to see not only SAGU folk, but Langston folk, Sooner Athletic Conference folk, even people all around the country hang out here in chat. We love all of our fans as we are ready for the second half. Octavio Resendish to kick off for Langston. A short one hits the ground, scary, but it is hauled in. SAGU will start at the 30-yard line here to start this second half.
SAGU's offense, as mentioned, they went up 16-7, then had 2 huge missed opportunities. Well, really, even when they went up 16-7, missed a huge opportunity, starting at the 10-yard line, set up for a field goal, started inside Langston territory, set up for another field goal, had to punt after that, but then came out with a very nice field goal drive with a minute left, and were moving. They just could not work out the timing to get that last field goal opportunity. So that's one little error to look at. You have a missed extra point and maybe that one little error to keep your eye on as this game develops. SAGU needs to clean that up, come out and go up by 2 scores here.
Here is Green on first down. Goes through his progressions, throws it backside. Coming back for it is his receiver. That is Zachary Johnson. Has enough for the first down. 1 play, first down for SAGU.
Raekwon Washington's wanting offensive pass interference. He's not going to get it. Great job by Johnson to just stepping back, getting into that soft zone, picking up the first down.
They will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek squeaks through, finds room to run, picks up 6 there on first down, makes it 2nd and 4.
Another night where the room just has not been there for Dudek for the most part. But if he can even find the lane, he will make something happen. Gain of 6 on first down. Just 2 plays and SAGU already in Langston territory.
4 wide here for Green on 2nd and 4. Checks with the line. Takes a snap. He will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek cuts it upfield. He's got a first down. Makes a man miss. Down into Langston territory. Took kind of a big hit there from the safety. But that is a new set of downs here for Keaton Dudek.
Keeps you guessing the whole way. There's the hole, weaving back and forth. Selling it so well with his shoulders. He leads so well. Makes those quick moves. 2 big runs from Dudek now has SAGU down to the 36-yard line. Great start so far to the second half.
1st and 10, they will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek showing some patience, nothing doing there. He's going to get brought down for a loss of 1. That'll make it 2nd and 11.
Jamar Dryce is going to be the one that comes through the middle. Dudek tries to backtrack, get back around, but Dryce is there. Gets a hold of him, almost got a hold of face mask there. He's lucky that the hand stayed on the side of the helmet, otherwise it could have been 15. Loss of 1 on first down.
2nd and 11, SAGU huddles up. We've seen a delay of game earlier tonight when SAGU does utilize the huddle. They break the huddle with about 11 left on the play clock. Should have plenty of time here to get the snap off. And they will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek met again, this time no gain. Will make it 3rd and 11, 3rd and long incoming here for SAGU.
Dreiss again and on the stop. Right up the gut. Jamar Dreiss was there. Had he not been there, big number 52, Jamal Dorsey, was also right in the way. So nothing doing on 2 straight Keaton Dudek runs. Brings up 3rd and long. SAGU has had too many drives peter out in Langston territory. As I said earlier, you get away with that a couple of times. You can't keep doing it. Got to find a way to come get some points here.
3 bunch to the left. Look for Green to possibly look to the right. And he will. And out pattern has his man. Zachary Johnson throws a stiff arm. It's going to be short of the first down marker, but I think it is enough to consider going for here. It will be. It's 4th and 1, and the offense is staying on the field.
Good job to get that out to Johnson. Johnson almost gets enough. And yeah, in this situation, a field goal would only put you up by 8. It would keep you a 1-score game. 27-yard line, you're still looking as well at a 44, 45-yard field goal. Hardly a gimme. So 4th and 1, they will stay on the field, go for it, and try to keep this drive moving.
Langston comes out 3 down linemen, but they are stacking the box. Hat on hat across the board. 4th and 1, they will hand it to Dudek. Dudek cuts back, wide open lane to the end zone. Keaton Dudek, 1 cut, he gone. SAGU touchdown.
You can contain him, you can contain him, you can contain him, but he is gonna get you eventually. All it takes is 1 block. Watch Briley Green here, cut, and Briley Green throws the touchdown signal up at the 25-yard line. That is a well-drawn play and some knowledge of who Keaton Dudek is. Big touchdown run on 4th and 1, and SAGU goes up by 11 pending the extra point.
Wow, what a run by Keaton Dudek. Extra point is up, and it is good. SAGU takes a 26-14 lead with 11:45. Their opening drive here in the second half.
So SAGU does go and get, as we love to call it, the double dip. Was nearly a triple dip after that onside kick. But they get the field goal, and in the waning moments of the first half, open up with a touchdown to start the second. And so now Langston, who, again, they were down 16-14 and had the ball twice. They threw an interception late in the first half, and that is the last time they touched the ball. That is always so tough. As you see Dudek, as we see this all year long, nothing, and somehow he's at almost 95 yards on just a couple of carries like that. He has fought his way through.
Absolute workhorse, but big shout out to the big boys up front. 4th and 1, Langston stacking the box, everybody at the line of scrimmage, and they open just that one hole that Dudek needs, and he hits it, jump cut, and touchdown. The big boys up front, beautiful job on that play. Kieran Woodley on to kick off here. It's 26-14, 12-point lead now for SAGU after the opening drive touchdown to start this second half. The kick is off, and it is going to be fielded inside the 5 at the 2-yard line. SAGU's kick coverage team, very good job there, brings him down at the 20-yard line, and that is where Larry Harrington and this Langston Lions offense will take over. And we got some more comments from our lovely fans here for the SAGU Sports Network. We talk about it all the time. Keandre Belcher, 99-0. You're not reading that incorrectly. He went from number 99 to number 0, and that's literally as big of a jump as you can get from your numbers. And thank you for the kind words, best commentators. I don't know about that, Tim. We do our best, but we appreciate the words from Venny Bailey. 1st and 10 here from the 20. For Larry Harrington, 4 wide, 1 in the backfield. Will fake the handoff, swing it out quickly on 1st, and he's brought down after a short gain. Call that 4 yards, make it 2nd and 6.
No sustained success on these quick passes. As we'll always say, it is the SAGU DBs that keep that from happening. Carter Lincoln coming in, making that tackle so quick. Gain of 4. And as you were saying a moment ago, Langston, the last time they had the ball, they throw an interception. The next time they get the ball, they're down by 12. That is how tough that double hit can be. Harrington came into this game with only 5 interceptions on the season. He has 3 tonight.
Low snap. Harrington gets it off and brought down another short gain. That brings up 3rd and 2.
Patrick McGee makes the tackle there, and if he doesn't get this, that is a huge tackle. He's going to get a little bit of help from Moss over the top, but had he not wrapped him up, Thompson might have just had the sideline, was at least going to get the first down. If he was able to shake off Moss, he might have been gone. So as simple as that play looked, potentially a massive, big play stopping tackle by McGee.
3rd and 2 here for Langston. They will hand it off. Scott gets hit, spins around, and he fights for the first down. He needed 2 and picked up about 4. That's a tough run by Markel Scott.
We've seen him make that all night. Has the run all the way back to his 23-yard line. Almost wrapped up at the 30, but he's going to break that tackle and fight for the extra few yards just so that there's no doubt on the first down. Another 3rd down conversion for Langston. They have been pulling those off throughout the afternoon and evening. It's just really been the 4 turnovers that has been so devastating to them.
New set of downs here for Langston. Low snap. Harrington fakes the handoff. He's back to pass. He steps up, dancing around. He's going to get hit. He's going to break the tackle, and he's going to flick it away. Incomplete. An exciting throwaway there for Langston. Fortunately for the Langston Lions, he did not go down for a sack.
Harrington's going to do a great job of just staying alive here. Cuts inside. Breaks off. Was almost brought down. I believe was it Nick Triplett who almost had him there? Breaks free and at the very least keeps it status quo by throwing that pass away.
Brings up 2nd and 10. Harrington. So he's going to come out here with 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Scott in the backfield. They do get the play off. Back to pass. He's going to roll out to his right. Harrington, good speed, keeps it himself. He's got enough for the first down and gets brought down, moves the chains for Langston. So Larry Harrington running for his life the last 2 plays, but it results in a first down and just shy of midfield.
First time we've seen him actually take off and run with it, but he does have some impressive open field speed. It's going to be a gain of around 12, 13 yards. Every yard counts right now for Langston as they try to reassemble really what was working early on for them. They had those 2 touchdown tries. Both looked so nice, but in between, a lot of mistakes, penalties, turnovers. Need to find a way to clean it all up.
Scott on the handoff on first down picks up 2. Make it 2nd and 8 at the 48.
Straight up the gut. Hard to bring him down, but SAGU is going to stand strong, finally not let him evade, and well, that's why, because Keandre Belcher came in to finish it off.
Markel Scott is a violent physical back, but only so much you can do when Keandre Belcher gets his mitts on you. Back to pass here is Harrington. Deep drop, lets it go deep down the sideline. Incomplete physical play between the receiver and the defensive back, but it falls incomplete. Carter Lincoln in coverage on the near side.
Thompson had a shot at it. There was some pushing and shoving. It looks like it was all within the realm of what is allowed, especially on those tight one-on-one coverages. Carter Lincoln and Dalen Thompson have been battling tonight. Thompson's had a couple of nice catches. Carter Lincoln has also made some big tackles, swatted a few away. Big-time DB on wide receiver matchup there.
3rd and 8. Here's Harrington back to pass. Lets it go deep down the sideline. Intercepted Carter Lincoln. He's going to take it down the sideline past the 50. Hurdles a man. A flag comes in. The 4th interception of the night for this SAGU defense. Both flags after the interception, so this should stand. We'll see what they decide to throw here, or what they decide to call here.
There's going to be a block in the back that's going to march this back a little bit, but how about that? 4 picks. Carter Lincoln just going to step right under this one. This is going to be airmailed by Harrington, thrown well over the head of his intended receiver, and the only one with a shot at it was Lincoln.
During the return, block in the back, SAGU number 2. 10-yard penalty. It's 1st and 10, SAGU.
They get Keith Hargraves on the block and the back on the return. That happens all so often. These defenders get all juiced up when their guy goes up and gets a pick, that they're just looking for anybody to hit down the field, whether they're facing them or not. But SAGU will take over at the 49-yard line, so just a yard shy of midfield. 4th interception of the evening for SAGU. Back-to-back games with 4+ interceptions. One more, and they will have doubled up Larry Harrington's interception total on the season. That in itself is incredible.
Unreal. The 2 Zach Nelson picks were your standard linebacker spy slipping underneath, as they will actually move the ball back to the 45. So SAGU will start on their own end. Those last 2 have just not been well thrown passes by Harrington. Thrown well out of the reach of their receivers, to where the only guy who even had a shot at the ball was the SAGU Lion, and they stepped right under it without a problem.
On the draw, Dudek bounces it to the outside, makes a man miss, makes another man miss. Dudek has enough for the first down, now into Langston territory, takes a shot on the near sideline at the end of that play. He gets right back up and heading back into the huddle.
Don't see Keaton Dudek completely leave his feet all the time, but right there almost does a pirouette. It felt like in air. Watch this. He's going to get the delayed handoff, finds this little gap, breaks one arm tackle right there, leaps into the air, and still freezes the defender in motion. He does feel like he can change direction when he's floating in midair.
Here's Dudek. He's going to take it to the outside, turns on the Jets, gets brought down. That's going to be 15 more on the horse collar. So SAGU is going to go from about the 29 to inside the red zone here. Assuming this is a horse, it looked like he got brought down by the back of his jersey. As you'll see it here, look at him turn on the Jets as he gets to that edge.
You'll see, and that's exactly what it's going to be. As you'll see, that's the textbook definition of a horse collar tackle.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Langston, number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Keelan Mosley is going to get called with it. So I guess it's been 2 Keaton Dudek runs. That's it. It feels like it's been 3 of how fast he's gone down the field. 2 Keaton Dudek runs and another 15-yard penalty. Both teams struggling with those, but this one's going to move SAGU inside the red zone. Big opportunity here. Already up by 12 as we approach the midway mark of the 3rd quarter to start trying to take this game over.
1st and 10 from the 15 after the 15-yard horse collar penalty. All yards from Dudek on this drive. They will hand it off to him again. He cuts, lowers his shoulder, gets brought down at the close to the 10. They're going to mark him down at the 8-yard line.
And Keaton Dudek has done this all year, and he is not a bruising back, so it's not like he's wearing teams down. It's almost a probability game. He's so good. If you keep rolling the dice and handing the ball, he's going to eventually take a game over.
He takes it to the edge again, gets past the 10, down to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown, Keaton Dudek from 12 yards out. His 2nd of the game, 2nd in the 3rd quarter. Keaton Dudek puts SAGU up big with that 12-yard score.
Just put the team on the seniors back on senior night to start the 2nd half. He breaks the big touchdown run on 4th and 1, and it was all Dudek on that drive. He got every single touch.
55 yards.
55 yards, and with the help of a 15-yard penalty, waltzes into the end zone. Extra point is up and good, and SAGU is up by 19 points. A quick turnaround.
55 yards on that drive alone for Keaton Dudek. Drive started at the 45, and they just rode Keaton Dudek all the way to the end zone.
120 yards on the game now. That's what we've said all year long. Last year, everything was clicking, and he was just getting screen passes and running all over, and it was a guaranteed 200 yards every single game. This year, he has still put up the stats, but it's been such a struggle, and I've said it time and time again, I have found this year more impressive. Even though last year he was the runaway NAIA leader in rushing and all-purpose yards, what he's done this year without a senior quarterback, with a freshman quarterback, with an offensive line that has not always been as effective, has been far more impressive, doing almost as much with less. It's been an amazing thing to watch, and as we've already mentioned before, his career is winding down here at SAGU. but neither of us think tonight or next Friday night should be the last time this guy ever puts on a shoulder pads and helmet.
Well, what's happening next Friday night, Tim?
Well,
it's funny you should mention that.
It is funny. We had alluded to it earlier, and we will talk about it more and more as we wrap up, but we still have a football game next Friday night. The Victory Bowl will be here at Lumpkin Stadium between SAGU and Olivet Nazarene.
The kickoff here is fielded at the 1 yard line. He tries to take it to the outside, reverses field, cuts back up, takes a hit, spins off the defender, and he's going to ultimately get brought down at the 22 yard line. An exciting return just to end up 3 yards shy of a touchback.
Dalen Thompson has shown some big play threat ability on these kick returns. Yeah, and a lot of excitement between the 15 and 20 yard line, all for it to not result in much. Yes. For the second straight year, we will be hosting the Victory Bowl between the SAGU Lions and the Olivet Nazarene Tigers, who I saw scrolling across the screen a while ago, scored a huge upset win today coming from the Mid-States Football Association. So that's going to be a huge matchup between two teams coming from strong conferences.
A big tackle for loss by who else but Keandre Belcher on first down, brings him down for a loss of 3. Tim, these matchups that we're going to see next Friday, and by the way, next Friday is action-packed here on the SAGU Sports Network. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But next Friday, not only is it the second year in a row that we get to host it, it's the second year in a row that you and I get to call the Victory Bowl. And these matchups between two teams who essentially never see each other are so much fun. You never know what you're going to get.
And there it was right there. Olivet Nazarene defeated number 24 Roosevelt, as you see it on the bottom of your screen. So SAGU hoping to come in just as hot. And yeah, the Victory Bowl is always such a pleasure to call and watch.
We got a new quarterback in here for Langston. Jalen Knight, the freshman, taking over for Larry Harrington.
He's going to face a lot of pressure right there.
The freshman.
Have to dump it off to regain anything. Get up to 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 here for the freshman quarterback wearing number 13, Jalen Knight. A tall task here after the starter, Larry Harrington, threw 4 interceptions. Back to pass here on 3rd down. Swings it incomplete, misses everybody. That'll be a 3 and out here for Langston, and they are just in shambles at this point. They have got to figure something out here on offense.
It's become a little bit unraveled for Langston as they have surrendered now 17 unanswered points, and the offense in their last 4 drives now have gone 3 and out, interception, and facing another 3 and out right now with the punt unit out there. The killer thing is they were clicking down the field on their last drive, trying to cut this back to a 1-possession game before the interception.
The punting unit, a low snap. He does end up getting it off. It's an end-over-end punt, bounces at the 45 and takes a Langston Lions bounce. It's going to be downed inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. So that's where SAGU's offense will take over after back-to-back touchdown runs for Keaton Dudick. Has really broken out here in the second half. As I saw this come across my screen earlier from Maui, Hawaii, Laura Bakos. We know that name. Let's go Bakos, number 43, relation to Christopher Bakos, whose name we've called a lot this season.
I bet Laura's toes aren't numb right now.
They are living it up in Maui, and it's a cool 41 degrees here in Waxahachie, Texas.
I can't complain. I was griping about the 99-degree weather a month ago so much. I can't complain about some numb toes.
There's go Big Cat number 47, Mr. Meadows. On first down here, they take a shot deep, incomplete, looking for his man. A flag comes in late, was looking for Paul O'Didi, and a late flag from that back official was probably going to be called pass interference here.
That is the assumption where it was thrown. There was a lot of contact, but when the flag didn't come out immediately, I just assumed they're going to let it go.
Pass interference, Langston number 4. It's a spot foul, automatic first down.
Travis Martin's going to get flagged and locked up. They ruled just a little bit too much contact there. Flag comes in, and
it was a late flag, Tim.
It was very late, as I obviously sometimes, of course, maybe the ref's fingers are numb. Sometimes you have to, a little hard to find where you put the flag last.
I understand that. I get it.
They've had to throw it a lot this game, as both these teams have gotten used to throughout the season.
First and 10 now from the 39. Green will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek cuts, but gets brought down after a short gain of 3 there on first down.
This is a crucial drive as we're under 5 to play now in the third quarter. Official timeout as we have a SAGU Lion hurt on the field. Catching the replay there. It looks like that is going to be Roderick Williams, who's had a really solid game today.
One of the senior leaders on this offensive line.
He's getting up, not being able to put any pressure, though, on looks like that left knee. He's had some solid, we've actually called his name a couple of times today. That's how you know, well, and we're not calling him penalty. The only time you call an offensive lineman's name is when he gets called for a penalty. But he's had some solid blocks today, leading the way for Keaton Dudek early on. And don't want to see him go out. Time for some more trivia. In 2013, when SAGU won the conference title, who was the team's leading rusher?
Oh, this is really going back there for me.
The only running back I remember from that era. Well, I won't say his name yet because I don't want to boil the waters. Only one running back's name I remember from that 2012-2013 era. So I'm going to hang on to that for a second.
You know who had a lot of yards but was out the rest of the year for injury was actually my roommate at the time was Styles Winston. Had a couple of 100-yard games, but unfortunately went out with an injury that ended his season. It's not going to be him. He didn't do it long enough. I cannot for the life remember who he split carries with that season.
I am pretty sure my guess wasn't playing in 2013 still. He was the leading rusher there for a while, but I think he was mainly the leading rusher in 2012. I don't think he was still around in 2013.
I think his name was James, and I cannot remember his last name. I can't remember my last name, I can remember my last name. It's cold, Tim. It's cold. I can't remember his last name. On 2nd and 7.
It's cold. It's the last game of the year. We've had to say a lot of things over the last 10 weeks.
2nd and 7 here for SAGU's offense. We were able to see Williams get up on his own power and walk off the field. The pitch to Dudek makes a lot of people miss, but ultimately results in a 2-yard gain, makes it 3rd and 6.
Now, just before we talk about the trivia question, this is a huge game-defining drive. If Langston finds themselves down 40-14, that is going to be too much to come back from. They have got to make this stop right here on 3rd down.
Almost draws Langston off sides. I'm surprised they didn't snap the ball. Bradley Green has been so good at that this season. Langston shows pressure. They fall back. They'll hand it off to Dudek here on 3rd down. Dudek has enough for the first down, and a tough run moves the chains and gets SAGU into Langston territory.
The confidence they have in this guy, and a great blocking scheme there. Everyone knew where to block. That is not block on your own. That is block for this specific hole on 3rd and 5. The number of times we have seen them give the ball to Keaton Dudek on 3rd downs, and we're talking 3rd and mids, 3rd and longs.
That's not good. It's going to move him back 5 yards.
But the number of last week against Texas College, he converted a 3rd and 11 and a 3rd and 13.
False start. SAGU number 44. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's just a level of confidence that you do not see surrounding running backs typically for your team, but they have it in Keaton Dudek.
I'm pivoting on my guess on the trivia question. I think it was Cade was his name, not James.
Cade Lushner?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, Cade Lushner was my era. That was 2007, 2008.
No. It was, man, now this is stretching my memory. I can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Swing it out for Dudek on 1st and 15, and it falls incomplete. I'm so curious now to what it is.
We'll get the answer here in a moment as the wheel route falls harmlessly to the ground. That's one area that has not clicked this year yet, and that's why Keaton Dudek probably will not, despite his late surge, get towards those 2,000 all-purpose yards. He was such a dynamic pass catcher last year, and he's never quite found that same wavelength with Briley Green so far. That pass falls harmless to the ground, brings up 2nd and long.
2nd and 15 to be exact here for Briley Green. Tude was left. Dudek in the backfield. They will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek met immediately trying to make anything happen here. He gets brought down after no gain. That'll make it 3rd and 15.
Another exciting no gain, though. I've seen a couple of those this game. Lot for nothing. splitting back, does avoid what was going to be almost a 2 or 3 yard loss. At least get back to the line of scrimmage. So ball at the 49-yard line. Clock is ticking. 3rd and long. Going to go 4 wide. Maybe look for a quick jump pattern that we love to see Briley Green throw.
They check with the sideline and get a play here. Clock still running. 8 left on the play clock here for Briley Green. 4 wide on 3rd and 15. Back to pass. Green swings it out to Dudek. Dudek makes 2 men miss, and he cuts it back to the midfield. He's going to have enough. He's going to try to fight for the first down, and he does. Keaton Dudek, unbelievable on 3rd and 15. Runs the width of the field.
Runs from the South Pole to the North Pole. Has to run, again, the entire width of the field and picks up the first down. Another, that wheel route, and right there at the very bottom of your screen, and barely even runs forward. He is just running straight across the street and letting his momentum carry him for the first down on 3rd and 15. Unreal.
That is absolutely incredible. A first down on the reception by Keaton Dudek. 1st and 10 here. Green fakes a handoff, flips it across the middle, incomplete, out of the hands of his intended receiver. That would have been a big gain on first down, but it remains 2nd and 10.
What's so funny that I just mentioned, they haven't really connected on the pass, and they connect on their biggest pass of the season to convert a huge 3rd and long. Briley Green, going back to that OPSU win, has started finding some magic on 3rd and longs to keep drives alive, to even start drives in that OPSU game.
Langston shows pressure, but Green makes a check. Langston does bring pressure. Here's Dudek. Dudek up the middle. He's got some open field to the 15. 10 makes a move down to the 5. Makes another move. Keaton Dudek from 33 yards out. That's the. You only see that in video games. That is unbelievable by Keaton Dudek. Wow, what a run!
He finds the hole, and even with 3 guys still having a shot at him, he's gonna put Raycon Washington almost on his tailbone. With this move right here, Washington doesn't stand a chance. And then just for good measure, I'm going to shed an arm tackle at the 3-yard line. Keaton Dudek in this 3rd quarter.
Oh, a bobbled snap again on the extra point, and this time Woodley just goes down. So 2 miscommunications on extra points. Takes 2 points off the board for SAGU. Would be a 41-14 game, but it will be a 39-14 game.
170 yards, and I would say at least 115 of it has come in this corner alone.
He knows it, too. He knows. He's good. He knows.
He has taken over this game. The 2nd drive was all him. That drive, again, all Dudek. The big pass completion was to Dudek. This guy has been such an absolute thrill to watch these last few seasons. It starts to make you sad. You're getting sad. It's like you're watching this going, oh, we've got 5 more quarters with him. We're lucky to have 5 more quarters. We get in the Victory Bowl next week. You're on the dock waving goodbye. Oh, don't leave us, Keaton Dudek. It's not just the excellence, it's the excitement that he brings to every single play. We have lavished so many superlatives on him, and I don't think we've exaggerated at any point, as he has turned what was a 16-14 squeaker into a borderline rout with a full 1.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
I forgot. The Keaton Dudek run made me forget about the trivia question.
I think that run was so good, he went back in time and led the 2013 team. Sean Haynes, that's the only name I remember from that general area. It couldn't have been Sean Haynes.
Let's see it.
Oh,
that's a trick question,
man. They got us with the mobile quarterback.
Man, the dual threat quarterback. I'm out here thinking of running backs.
Troy Griffin was 2nd.
Okay, I remember Troy Griffin.
And the 3rd was James Hopkins.
That's who I was thinking of, James Hopkins. It played on my freshman year intramural flag football team with James Hopkins. He was the man.
Reed Golson
remembered him.
Was such a dynamic quarterback. Really the first guy to step into this building. That was, oh wow, we have got ourselves a blue chip true QB1.
And a bobbled snap here, and Langston is just falling apart. Can't even get the snap to the quarterback, and it has come off the hinges here for the Langston Lions. Still in a quarterback is Jalen Knight. It is going to be second and very long, second and 21.
And you can't help but just see parallels to a hot 6-0 start that has been unable to get to the finish line in this game. You led 7-0, had it down to a 2-point game late in the first half, and now it just feels like nothing can go right. This is a team that was top 20 this year.
Yeah.
It's a team that was feared, and a team that it was not like they just got cleaned out by everybody. They barely lost to Arizona Christian. They won that thriller against Ottawa, Arizona at home on homecoming weekend. And it's just when it rains, it pours for Langston. And now with less than a minute play in the third quarter, they are looking at a mountain, not just in third down, but in this game.
3rd and 19. Here is Knight. Empty backfield. Another bad snap. He picks it up and is facing immediate pressure. Down he goes. And it's going to be 4th down and a country mile as SAGU's defense is making the freshman quarterback living nightmares in the backfield.
Devontae Crownover is going to get the borderline free sack. Wraps him up, and that is the end of the third quarter, a third quarter of dominance. SAGU scores 20 points in the quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
The defense is only on the field right now for the third drive. They have an interception, a 3-and-out, and another 3-and-out. Langston yet to pick up a first down in this half. I would hazard a guess that with these 19 total yards lost, they picked up a couple of yards at the start of the second half. They might be at negative yardage on that quarter. You look at the stats here. Hanspard is the key receiver. He had the 2 touchdown catches. Markel Scott has been solid all game, but that yards per carry has dropped from 5.1 to 4.5 as SAGU has started to bottle him up.
Langston had more yards, total yards, going into the second half than SAGU did. And that just shows you. And it's all Keaton Dudek.
It is. And right there, rushing yards, 178 of them. And out of those 145 passing yards, about 20 of them were Keaton Dudek catching the ball at the line of scrimmage and picking up every single thing as a yard after the catch. Langston will now be punting deep in their own end zone, trailing by 25. It's going to take some very, very quick turns of events here. And the problem is, this is exactly where SAGU wants to be. You're up huge in the fourth quarter thanks to your dominant, all-American, dominant running back. And now you just get to give him the ball some more to try to run this clock down. 4th and 29, standing in the end zone for the punt. SAGU has brought some pressure throughout the season on these punt block attempts.
Elliot Yanish to punt. It is a high end-over-end punt. It is brought in shy of the 40-yard line. Jalen Moss.
Come on,
he's down to the 10.
Come on.
He's down to the 5. A flag comes in. We all want Jalen Moss. We all want him to get into the end zone, and he had a crease. A flag comes in, so it's going to come back. Jalen Moss so close.
He takes it to the 4. I bet you it's going to be a holding that's going to bump back out to the 15. We want it for him so bad. He wants it so bad.
He is unbelievably exciting when he has the ball in his hands.
He has been picking up those chunks all season long, though. 10, 15, 20, 30 yards.
During the run back, personal foul, blindside block, SAGU number 2, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10, SAGU.
Keith Hargraves saw a shot and took it. Unfortunately for SAGU Lions, it'll be a 15-yard penalty and take them back to the 25-yard line.
That's pretty killer, actually, to have the ball get set
just
up
there,
inside the 5.
Just off the screen, we saw him come in and lay someone out.
Yeah, you saw it come with some speed. That's a tough penalty because if you don't do that, it didn't impact the play at all. You're inside the 5-yard line. That's automatic practically. Now 20. no one's going to complain about starting at the 25-yard line, but it erases a vast majority of that punt return.
Here's Green looking across the middle, incomplete. Threw into traffic, intended for Khalil Jenkins.
Always a dangerous throw when you have that many guys in there, and it looked like Zachary Johnson might have also thought it was coming to him. Falls to the ground, and SAGU is facing a 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 from the 25, freshly here into the 4th quarter. SAGU 39-14 lead over these Langston Lions. They will hand it off to Dudek. Dudek, following his blockers, cuts it to the outside. Again, another jump cut. He ducks out of bounds after a gain of 5 there on 2nd down. Makes it 3rd and 5.
Almost had the hole right there, fighting through. I'm going to go ahead and credit number 46, Rashad Washington, on that. The fact that he fought through that block just enough. If Dudek had been able to find that crease, he was going to get to that corner so much faster. Probably gets the first down because he was forced to the outside. As SAGU is going to pick up a 5-yard true false start here. Straight out of the runner's blocks.
False start. SAGU number 5. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Colby Tanner was just really excited about his route tree on that 3rd 5 play.
Whenever I see that, especially Colby Tanner has not caught a pass yet today. Whenever
he's got
I see that.
He's got one.
Oh, did he have one?
He's
okay.
got one, yep.
I always assume, maybe wrongly, but I always assume that in the play call, the quarterback looked at him and said, "And I'm looking at you." And the receiver just gets way too excited that he's been told he is target number 1 on this play,
and
happens. He gone.
Yep, it happens. 3rd and 10 now from back at the 25-yard line. Back to pass is Green. Green takes a shot, and a lot of traffic there. Incomplete, makes it 4th down, and Kieran Woodley will come onto the field here for a field goal attempt. This will be about a 42-yard field goal here for Kieran Woodley.
And Zachary Johnson and Khalil Jenkins were talking to each other because they were both standing in the same spot when that ball was thrown. So that is 2 guys who ran the exact same route, and they're discussing who should have run the other route to where Briley Green actually threw that pass.
This will be a 42-yard attempt here for Kieran Woodley. Riggin basket to snap, Ryan Lewis to hold. Good snap. Hold is down. The kick is up. Low line drive. It's going to be short and left. No good. So the score will remain at 39-14.
For Langston, slim hopes. That was a huge stand. It looked like SAGU was going to have the ball inside the 5. A tough penalty moves you back to the 25-yard line. SAGU essentially runs no time off the clock. A couple of one run went out of bounds, 2 incomplete passes, another penalty to stop the clock, and then you have to miss a field goal. So the score doesn't change. Almost no time goes away. Langston still has some slim hopes. So we look again at that bottom 25, or the bottom half of the 25 there. That's what we're watching tomorrow night for the Sooner Athletic Conference. Ottawa, Arizona, Arizona Christian, and Texas Wesleyan. If only one team's in the top 20, they are the automatic bid. If 2 get to the top 20, then we have a 2-way tiebreaker. 3 get to the top 20, then it gets crazy.
Empty backfield here on 1st down. The pass is short of the intended receiver from Jalen Knight. That'll make it 2nd and 10.
Adam, I'm going to go ahead and ask you.
Oh, boy.
Here's the thing. Let's say you're a pollster and you know if you put Arizona Christian in the top 20 that they're going to the playoffs, even though you think Ottawa, Arizona is better. Or do you think Ottawa, Arizona is better?
So we had one team that needed to lose for Arizona Christian lose today, but there was also an upset of another team. So I think that kind of is a net positive. It cancels each other out. Stepping up is Knight. Knight's going to throw it, flick it back across the field. It's brought in for a short gain on 2nd down. So I don't think that Arizona Christian gets inside that top 20, which they would need to do to get that tiebreaker to kick in over Ottawa.
Yeah.
They both had big wins today, and I think that Ottawa might even move up to 19. They may even see some traction that way. So I think that Ottawa is going to get the bid from the Sooner Athletic Conference. And again, like you said, there's a 3-way tie for the Sooner Conference Championship. I think that Ottawa is the outright champion because I think they're going to make the NAIA playoffs. Here on third down, the pass is completed, has enough for the first down, but gets brought down, so that'll move the chains. A new set of down here for Langston.
Kevin Allen, his first reception of the game. And said Langston facing slim hopes right now, but they have done what they need to do to at least keep those slim hopes alive here in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it's a tight debate. Here's the other thing I would, if I'm playing advocate for the Firestorm, they started off slow. Those losses were months ago now. They started with those 2 straight conference losses, and they have put it all together since then.
How much does this game play into effect for Ottawa on first down here? Because Ottawa lost to this Langston team, almost intercepted by SAGU. So Ottawa loses to this Langston team. But this Langston team here now losing to SAGU 39-14. Who Ottawa, wait for the call here.
Langston, number 57, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It's all confusing because everybody in the Sooner beats each other.
Right. That's the problem, is that you can't just say, oh, well, because X beat Y, then because if you can just go in circles all day. But yeah, that Ottawa loss to Langston, it was on the road, it was in Langston, but now that Langston, the next week, Louisiana Christian, who just lives for ruining team seasons, came in and blew them out. That game was over going into the fourth quarter. They narrowly lose to Arizona Christian, and now they got another game that's borderline over going into the fourth quarter. That does make that loss a little more of a stinging loss for Ottawa, Arizona than I would have said before this game right here.
So you and I both know that NAIA voting, a lot of it is done on reputation.
Oh yeah.
And if you've been there before and where you've been. SAGU, the Lady Lions, for example, the only undefeated team in the nation, and they're number 7. It should be number 1. Does Ottawa's reputation of having been there before keep them in that spot over Arizona Christian, regardless of what this loss for Langston means?
It does, because they were the conference favorites coming in. As a nice little skip move here to pick up a couple extra yards, make it a much more makeable third down.
Very manageable here on third, and call it 6.
It absolutely does, and they were the odds-on favorite throughout the season. They were the highest ranked throughout the season. They were top 10 at one point, I believe.
They were, yeah.
They were moving towards the top 10. Here's the real kicker. If I'm not mistaken, the way the bracket shakes out, unless they try to do some more regional things, it's 16 versus 1.
You go Morningside.
Who's got to play Morningside? If I'm the one who has to decide it, I'm going to go deep into the books and say which of these teams actually stands a borderline chance against the absolute juggernaut Mustangs, as Langston does pick up this first down. Not that I'm trying to rig it to where we get some sort of upset, but it was not a pretty look for Ottawa, Arizona. They believe they lost to Morningside last year as well. And so does their reputation actually sting them a little bit of, hey, we gave you your shot last year, we're giving the Firestorm a shot? There's a dozen different ways to look at it. And I truly don't know how it's going to turn out. I truly do not have an inkling.
You are on first and 10 here. Here's Knight, empty backfield. He's going to roll out to his right. Facing pressure. He's going to get brought down. A sack for SAGU. Keith Hargraves brings down Knight.
Some speedy pursuit from behind. Knight needed to get rid of that one, but he did not like what he was seeing downfield.
So going back to last season, Ottawa, Morningside, and if you put him in again to potentially get trounced by Morningside again. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's very possible. You're thinking of TV ratings and things that Alabama has to worry about, not necessarily Morningside and Ottawa of Arizona. I'm not sure that plays that much of a factor into
probably
the decision.
Does not. They are going to, and the only kicker that's so interesting about this is he's in danger again.
Knight lets it go. It's brought in. A huge reception there. Again, on second and long, they connect and make it third and manageable.
Jalen Knight has started making things work here after his first 2 drives went disastrously, running for his life, throwing on the run. High elevated pass. Receiver goes up and gets it, and they're back in another manageable 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, like you mentioned here for Langston and the Lions. Empty backfield here for Jalen Knight. We've seen them convert a couple of first downs this drive to try to keep this comeback dream alive. They get the snap off. Back to pass. Knight flips it out. Incomplete. Brings up 4th down, and you think they probably have to go for it here on 4th and 5 from SAGU's 45.
And he's lucky this is not well thrown, because if that had been thrown better, it's probably a pick 6 going in the other direction. And they will stay on the field, 4th and 5. Not really much of a shot of a choice if they want to keep any hope alive in this ball game. SAGU, this might just be the nail in the coffin if they can make the stop here.
4th and 5. Knight back to pass. Pumps. Lets it go. Broken up. Incomplete. Beautiful play on the outside by Patrick McGee. And that'll be a turnover on down. SAGU's defense up to the task.
Jumps the route. Gets the hand in there. Not a chance. Big stop. And up by 25 with 9.5 minutes left. SAGU is sitting pretty. Going back yet again to the Ottawa, Arizona. The thing that is so interesting is, we've got the big update here. Okay, so here's where we are. So I guess I'm assuming the X's are losses today. So St. Francis lost and Georgetown lost, but it was Carroll who beat College of Idaho.
Carroll jumps into the top 20.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so does Georgetown and St. Francis both drop below Arizona Christian is the question.
Here on 1st down, out to Dudek. No gain there on 1st down.
Because let's just say Carroll takes St. Francis's spot and then at 19. Does that drop St. Francis guaranteedly behind Arizona Christian, and can the team above them drop behind Arizona Christian?
And again, it doesn't matter if Arizona Christian and Ottawa, it doesn't matter if Ottawa is in front. If Ottawa is 19 and Arizona Christian is 20, Arizona Christian gets in because they have that tiebreaker win over Ottawa earlier this season. 2nd and 9.
Another false start on SAGU. And that's what makes it so interesting if you're the pollster. Because
false start.
The call.
SAGU number 9, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's what I'm saying. If you know what the tiebreaker is, and you look at it and say, okay, based upon the way I'm mathing it, Arizona Christian should be in the 20th spot. But I clearly think Ottawa, Arizona is better. They're at 16-17. Do I put my thumb on the scale? Because I know if I put Arizona Christian at 20, they make the playoffs and Ottawa, Arizona doesn't. Do I put my thumb on the scale and say, I'm putting them at 21? Or do I just follow them and say, hey, go prove yourself. You've earned it. You can say they've earned it. They've earned it outright.
They hand it off to Dudek on 2nd and 14. For a good gain there. Makes it 3rd and mid, 3rd and 6. So here's why who I would want to be put in is Arizona Christian. For 2 words, Nestor Higuera. I want to see him play in the playoffs, man.
It's true. He does deserve every ounce of national spotlight he gets. 100%. Literally.
That's a lot of. It's a lot of ounces. Third and 6. Of course, if you don't know, Nestor Higuera, the kicker for Arizona Christian, walked off last year here in Waxahachie against the Lions. Gained national attention. Was on the Pat McAfee show. Just all feel good for Sooner Athletic Conference football. But here on 3rd down, they hand it off. Up ahead, rolling and lowering the shoulder, awfully close to a 1st down. It's going to be 4th and 3. It was not Keaton Dudek on the carry. Or yes, it was Dudek. I thought maybe he had a different arm sleeve so far this game.
The offense had huddled back up. I think they were hoping to get to stay on and try to keep this drive moving, but up by 25. Coach Ellis is going to go ahead and opt to try to pin Langston deep again.
Oh, it was DK Rose. It was DK Rose on the carry, the backup running back in there on 3rd down. It's Ryan Lewis on the punt here, coming up on 7 minutes left to play here in this ball game. SAGU up 39-14 on the verge of their 3rd straight victory over Langston, their 1st at home. Last 2 have come on the road in Langston, Oklahoma. Beautiful punt by Ryan Lewis, and he just tacks on to a wonderful day in all 3 phases of this game. Down at the 2-yard line, Ryan Lewis, the freshman, has been so good this season. Beautiful.
He has an art to it. So one more look at this, because we just love talking about it. We love getting nitty-gritty of it. So yeah, do you move Georgetown and St. Francis both beneath Arizona Christian? That's the question.
So there's 2 spots down.
Oh, and St. Thomas is playing Southeastern right now. That's it. That might be the game
If St.
breaker.
Thomas loses, Arizona Christian is in.
Is in.
Because there's 3 teams out. One team's going to get in, possibly Carroll with their upset win today. So I think if St. Thomas loses, Arizona Christian is in, and they're in the playoffs.
So the Firestorm are cheering for the Fire.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not complicated at all. It's the Lions play the Lions, the Firestorm cheer for the Fire, and it's our sister school that's involved.
Here on first down, they hand it off, breaks a tackle, keeps the feet moving. He's going to get brought down at the 5. So some breathing room here for Langston. Backed up to their own goal line, makes it 2nd and 7. I love breaking down these scenarios, Tim. It's a lot of fun. We don't get to talk about it enough, but when you have a 25-point lead, it's nice to talk about these scenarios.
And again, if you are watching and you're wondering when's it all come to a head, tomorrow night, 7 or 6 o'clock, I honestly can't remember off the top of my head, that is when the bracket will drop, the 16-team playoff field.
Flicks it across
nice
his body.
pass.
What a catch down at the 27-yard line. A great throw and maybe even a better catch completed to J. Ray Austin. That is beautiful. Crossed body, just flicks it out there.
Jalen Knight has started to put together some nice throws here, especially all of them generally on the run as he's faced a lot of pressure.
They actually brought back in Larry Harrington. That was Larry Harrington.
Oh, it was Larry Harrington. Oh.
So Jalen Knight had that one drive that petered out, the turnover on downs, and Larry Harrington back into the game. 5 wide here for Harrington. Low snap, and he picks it up. He runs out to his left. He's running for his life. Steps up at the 20. He's going to cut back, make another move, and he's got some good yardage there on a play that looked destined to fail. Almost picking up a first down, makes it 2nd and 1.
That's the 3rd or 4th time he has had to try to salvage a poor snap. One time it led to a fumble, but the other few times he has made some stuff happen. That time, the best by far, scrambling for a full. They're going to mark him down short of the first down since he did start to slide, but still a 9-yard pickup on first down.
2nd and 1 on the way here. Harrington, 5 wide, empty backfield. SAGU's defense pitching a shutout here in the second half. Another bad snap. He picks it up. He's going to let it go deep down the field. Gets hit as he throws, and it's broken up. A good job on that backside by Isaac Gowdy to knock that pass away. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Absolutely crushed on this throw. Great coverage by Gowdy. Intended receiver was Julian Austin. 3rd and 1, under 5 minutes to play here in Waxahachie. SAGU looking to move to 7 and 3 on the year. Cap the year off with a 5-game win streak.
It's got to feel good under first-year head coach Greg Ellis. The season started off not on the best foot. They're going to complete here for a first down across the middle. Not on the best foot. Really tough start to the schedule for SAGU, and with a freshman quarterback, it's a tall task. But Briley Green really stepped into his own. This defense has been good all season long. Maybe without the one game against Texas Wesleyan, but has been very good all season long, and has really a 7-3 record. You have to be thrilled with that, with what you've had on the field.
Absolutely thrilled. And again, those 3 losses are against your champions, against the 3 teams who are going to combine to be the champions. So they were close. They only lost to Arizona Christian by 8. There's a lot of pressure.
Harrington is brought down, and another sack here. Damaris Herron brings him down and does the Keandre Belcher celebration, rubbing the tummy. Makes it 2nd and long.
Herron is such a fast, aggressive player. Oh, almost. That could have been a face mask on Devontae Crownover. They did not throw the flag as Herron comes in with some violent speed. But yeah, they only lost by 8 to Arizona Christian here in a game that I'll say, if today's Briley Green was playing that game against Arizona Christian, that is a very different game. It's not the same Briley Green. This is a far more savvy, far more veteran Briley Green.
Harrington slings it over the middle, has his man weaving through defenders, has enough for the first down. Now it's a foot race down to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, ran out of gas almost all the way to the end zone. Kevin Allen with a huge play, and now Langston will set up 1st and goal from the 3.
How about Isaac Gowdy in a 25-point blowout, hustling the whole way to try to stop that touchdown? This play seems to develop in slow motion, a little crossing pattern over the middle. He's waving his blockers. Play looks totally dead here, and SAGU just knocks themselves off each other. He's running, and there is not much left at this point. Nobody seemed to have much left as Isaac Gowdy immediately left the field.
First and goal here. Harrington sends a man in motion. Back to pass on first down. Swings it, skips it to his receiver. Incomplete pass. Hit the ground before his receiver was able to bring it in. Would have been short of the end zone anyway. Markel Scott, the intended receiver. And that's wide open. An unfortunate miss there for Harrington.
Put that up any sort of elevation. That's going to be a touchdown. You know SAGU's defense wants to make this stop. You know that they want to finish this second half shutout. They have fought with such pride at every level in games that they're winning big, in games they were down big. They have fought to stay in and, pitch shutouts, make big stops.
Hand it off here to Scott. Scott bounces it to the outside, looking for the edge. He brings it into the end zone. Touchdown, Langston. Markel Scott from 3 yards out.
Scott, he's done most of his damage after initial contact. This time, finally, he's going to get a little bit of an edge. Be able to find his way into the end zone for his first touchdown of the evening.
Langston, how about this, Tim? Their first touchdown since the second quarter on the 26-yard touchdown pass to Hanspard that made it 16-14. They have not led since they went up 7-0 on the opening drive of this ball game.
And that sequence after that, as the extra point is up and good, that sequence, you talk about the way games shift. That was a 16-14 ball game. SAGU comes right back out. They get great field position and can't do anything with it and have to punt. Langston gets the ball. They're pinned deep. As you look at total yardage, almost even. 340 total yards to 321. It's a weird game like that. And SAGU, big penalty yards. Langston almost 50%. But the stat you're not seeing right there is turnovers. Langston
turnovers and time of possession as well.
4 picks, a fumble, and a turnover on downs. That one doesn't go in the same booklet. But you look at that sequence. They have the ball down 16-14. They go 3 and out. They stop SAGU again. They get the punt late in the first half. They need to find a way to get some points, and they throw that interception that leads to the SAGU field goal. By the time they get the ball back, they're down 26-14. They throw another pick and start at 3-14. That sequence, when they were only down 2, they had the ball twice at the end of the first half, and those 2 stands by the SAGU defense, forcing that 3 and out and getting that third interception of the half, is what completely altered this game going forward. Even though it only made the score 16-14 to 19-14 by the end of that half, that altered everything, and is why SAGU is just 247 away from pulling off the big season finale win. Regular season finale. Got to keep on saying regular season finale so y'all know to come back on Friday night for some Victory Bowl action.
An onside kick here from Langston. It's recovered, but in and out of the hands. SAGU ultimately does end up recovering. I think he might have touched it before the 10-yard mark, but no flag comes out. It was close.
He might have. It was very, very tight. Might have been right at the 45 because there is no flag. Otherwise, there would have been a flag had they ruled it closer than that. And SAGU gets the ball where Langston touched it. So that would have been a converted onside kick because SAGU will get the ball where Langston last touched it since it was touched by the kicking team. They're placing it at the 46-yard line, which means had Langston been able to pull that in, they would have
illegal touching at the 44.
So they do
down, 44.
Oh, so now they rule it. So never mind. Everything I just said was a lie. And take it all back. It was, in fact, illegal touching, which is why SAGU get at the 44-yard line.
SAGU's offense will take over here at the 44. Briley Green is still in at quarterback. Keaton Dudek still in at running back. 2:45 left to play here in this ball game. SAGU up 39-21. He'll hand it off to Dudek. Dudek cuts it back again. What a move. Keaton Dudek started going left, went back right, and ends up picking up 4 on first down.
Those plant feet, when he sticks it in the ground, it plants and launches in the same half second. It's so quick how he makes those cuts. SAGU huddles up. They are content to let the clock run down now as we approach 2 minutes to play. As we said, a complete turnaround in this season. Got to cap off with 5 straight wins. End up being the 4th best team in the conference, a top 4 finish.
Just outside. They were just 1 game back from being a conference champion.
That's what you're going to look at all offseason. That that's what Coach Ellis is going to be looking at these guys, motivating these guys with is, no, we didn't finish 4th. We finished 2nd. We finished 2nd. If there's a 3-way championship, that means you were in 2nd place. You were 1 game away. If you had found a way to beat the Firestorm, that game against Ottawa, Arizona, they held tight. They held tight into the 3rd quarter.
Langston.
Before the Spirit finally pulled away in that one, and obviously got beat pretty soundly against the Rams. But if you flip any of those games at all,
looking at a 1-loss team.
Yep. And so, and the fact that those games were front-loaded with your freshman quarterback, it may not have helped this season. I think it might have helped for the long term, though. It put Briley Green to some fire early on, and we have seen him develop into a solid freshman quarterback. Even today, his completion percentage is not going to be what he wants it to be. Playing football in cold weather as a quarterback, if you're not used to it, is going to be tough. Although it'll be close to the same on Friday night, maybe a couple degrees warmer, but that game will start with the sun having already set. But even so, he has put together some nice drives, some nice passes. If you replayed those 3 games right now, I think there's a chance he goes and gets one of those for sure. And you're looking at a 2-loss team who's tied for that conference championship.
On 3rd and 4, they will hand it off to Dudek on the counter. Dudek bounces it to the outside, and it's a foot race. He turns on the Jets, gets it to the 20, ducks out of bounds, and SAGU's got a first down, and that should all but end this one after the Langston timeout after the 2nd down play.
Langston can still call timeouts if they want to, but that will officially put an end to it. SAGU can just kneel down inside the 20-yard line. What a second half from Keaton Dudek. We keep on saying it, but 3 touchdowns, probably north of 150, 60 yards. He's over 200 yards rushing on the game, and he was probably around 50 at halftime. So 150 of those, give or take, here in the second half.
So in the last 4 games for Keaton Dudek, he's got 2 300-yard games and a 200-yard game. And I think that 4th one, I think he was around 95. Right. So he's almost got 900 yards in 4 games.
If you put that up in Madden, it's time to bump your difficulty setting up, all right? You're not playing tough enough competition. Keaton Dudek, just making it look... It's not easy. We know it's not easy. He's just making it look amazing is what he's doing. Clock will continue running as SAGU will put an end to this one.
2nd and 7. They got to run 1 more, maybe 2 more plays, depending on how long this play takes. They'll hand it off to Dudek. Dudek weaving his way through. He'll lower the shoulder, stay in bounds, and that should do it. 35 seconds left. The play clock not running. That should be the last time they have to run a play before we hit triple zeros. SAGU's 3rd straight victory over Langston, their first victory at home against the Langston Lions. 2 in a row on the road against Langston. Like you said, we've not been able to see those in person, but finally were able to catch a SAGU win over Langston in Waxahachie that caps off a 5-game win streak to end the season, making them 7-3 and a successful year in the Sooner Athletic Conference for first-year head coach Greg Ellis, first-year quarterback Briley Green, on the back of Keaton Dudick and one of the best defenses that you will find across the nation. SAGU finishes 7-3, 39-21. This final score here from Lumpkin Stadium.
Yeah, only thing that's clean up in this game, it's pretty apparent. Penalties, 10 for 109 yards. Briley Green, he needs to zone a little bit next week. Just a 30% completion rating, needs to be higher than that. Even so, he still had 145 yards passing on only 9 completions. A great finish this season, getting to 7-3. You look at the full recap there. Like I said, it was a little bit tough early on. You got the huge win over Louisiana Christian early on, then lost 3 out of 4, especially with that only win being over Arkansas Baptist, a game you knew you were going to win. You might have felt a little bit down. And then 5 straight wins, all in conference, dominant wins. None of those were close. None of those games were close. We've called a lot this year. We haven't called a close game. I guess that Arizona Christian game was close towards the very end.
That was the most exciting game we called all season.
Every other game, we've been having to keep it going here in the fourth quarter as SAGU has run away with it. Not a bad home streak for SAGU either. Only 1 home loss this year. Very nice, and you see them move into that 4th spot, just 1 game out of that conference champion claiming situation. That's going to be the goal for next year, but this year is not done yet as they are back in this building on Friday night against Olivet Nazarene.
The Victory Bowl, Tim. There it is, pregame show. Tim and I at 6:30, 7 o'clock kickoff. So it is a short week, and it is a Friday night game because, Tim, next weekend is chock full of events, and I get to be at all of them. So Friday, November 18th, 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:30. Pre-game show, Olivet Nazarene, SAGU Lions 2022 Victory Bowl. And then on Saturday, the NAIA National Tournament first round. We don't know who the Lady Lions are playing quite yet. They'll announce that here as the weekend unfolds, but they will play round 1 in Waxahachie, and we will have that game for you most likely around 11 a.m. or noon as that looks to get underway. And then at 2 p.m., the Lady Lions women basketball, our own sideline reporter, Jazz Williams, taking on Wayland Baptist and the Flying Queens. Again, 2 p.m. And then at 3:45, the men's basketball team takes on top team in the nation, Wayland Baptist. So a back-to-back 3 events on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to need to drink a lot of tea and honey after that game, but I'm excited, Tim. It's going to be so much fun. I haven't gotten to call a basketball game with my guy John Cookman in a few years, and I'm fired up, Tim.
That is going to be an unbelievable packed weekend. And just the state of athletics at SAGU, the Victory Bowl on Friday night, and hosting an NAIA volleyball tournament home game on Saturday. What an absolutely exciting time to be a SAGU Lion, watching these teams succeed in every single facet of every single sport.
It's a treat, and I'm glad it's not our last game doing a football game together here in 2022. I'm excited for next Friday night. All upcoming broadcasts will be on the SAGU Sports Network YouTube channel. Share the link with your friends and family. Make sure they get their eyes on this. You can find past broadcasts, highlights, shorts, and more on all of our social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok. Hit the subscribe, like, follow, whatever button you need to hit to keep up to date on SAGU news and highlights here from the SAGU Sports Network. Again, the final score is SAGU Lions 39 and the Langston Lions 21 as SAGU closes out the Sooner Athletic Conference schedule with a win over Langston. If you don't know, 90% of our crew at the SAGU Sports Network is made up of college students who are paying their dues, paving the way here in the Digital Media Arts and Communications program here at SAGU. We appreciate every single one of them giving up their Saturdays and their weekends, coming here early to set up and staying late to tear down. It is a grind, and we appreciate these students, and we thank them so much for such a good season here for football. One left, guys. One more left here for football. I'm Adam Ferguson for my broadcast partner, Tim Roberts, and on behalf of our entire crew, so long from Waxahachie, Texas, and thank you for watching the SAGU Sports Network.